It's alright, the time is going to be blank for everybody in a moment because I am about to get rid of it. There we go. So, thank you all for joining me today. Thank you to the audience as well for joining us. I know we had some technical problems during the live broadcast last week, which meant that actually a large portion of the game didn't get broadcast last week. However, it was recorded and is now currently on YouTube. So, if you want to see how things went last week, you can see it on our YouTube, the Gethsemane Games YouTube channel. Yes, hopefully we'll not have too many technical problems today. With the Roll20's had some interesting ones all day because it's been impossible to roll dice on the site for most of the day. But we seem to have found a bit of a workaround for it, so fingers crossed. Okay, I'm your Games Master for this evening. I'm Bryan F Irving from Gethsemane Games and DH9 Radio. We will be playing Pandora's Wake Apocalypse Age, which is the Pandora's Wake setting by Gethsemane Games using the modern age rules by Green Ronin Games. And if you are interested, keep an eye on the Age Creators Alliance. You might see something akin to this appearing there soonish. All, fingers crossed. Okay, so, as I mentioned, the system is the Modern Age by Green Ronin Games. The setting is Pandora's Wake by myself. Music will be by Kevin McLeod at Incompetech.com and by the DH9 Radio production unit. Sound effects by DH9 Radio's Foley unit, Battle Bards and freesound.org, and I'll be doing some manually because unfortunately the Foley unit can't get into the recording studio in larger numbers than one person at a time at the moment due to COVID restrictions. However, never mind. Our cast are Mark Savall as Rab, Chris Gibson as Adam Taylor, Jenny Savall as Erin Black, Ben Watson as Joe Watson, because he couldn't come up with a surname all of his own, Sean McGile as Thomas Gallagher, Marie McGowan Irving as Elizabeth Lizzie Ryan, and I, as the Games Master, will be playing everybody and everything else that they encounter. Last week, the characters were on the Newcastle subway, which for those of you who know is the metro, when the Pandora event occurred, so the apocalypse is literally happening around them right now. After a flight from strange creatures in the darkness, they eventually made it out to the streets with several of the passengers, the characters themselves, and one NPC, the driver, who's also with you, Reg, and is badly injured. Who's currently supporting Reg? Okay, sorry, I've just realised I didn't have the players volume switched on there. So, Chris tells me that his character, which is Adam Taylor, is currently supporting Reg, the injured train driver. So, you just escaped the metro system last week and made it up onto the surface. You escaped through the Haymarket metro station, which means you're at the top end of Haymarket, which is largely a pedestrianised area. The sky above you is a strange glowing purple. There's an awful lot of people on the streets who are just standing staring at the thing. Whatever's gone on, it would seem most people on the streets aren't aware of it just yet. Whatever's the creatures that you encountered underground don't appear to have made it this far, though you are being pursued by some, so that might be a bit of a worry. There is utter chaos in the streets, however. You can hear sirens everywhere. There are traffic jams, there are people milling about, there are police officers running past down towards Central Station sort of area. There's the fire brigade is zipping about, the ambulances are tearing down towards Central Station in large numbers, and you're here amidst a confused crowd. What would you like to do?
I am going to be checking my phone for news. I've already contacted my dad and my brother to tell them to get in the car. I'm going to see if there's anything updates on the news.
Okay, so checking the updates on the news at the moment, what you're getting is a lot of confused reports about strange events all around the world, not just in Newcastle. People from as far afield as Egypt, America, Russia are all reporting strange purple lights in the sky. There are vague references, not so much in the news, but certainly on social media, about creatures, strange things. None of it's confirmed as of yet. The BBC and Al Jazeera have reporters out just about everywhere. They are checking through the various news channels. You get the usual sort of garbled political ranting from certain, sort of left and right leaning news outlets, and you're getting some slightly more useful but still a bit confused reports from the likes of the BBC and whatnot, who are trying to get reporters around the world out to find out exactly what's going on. They're bringing in reports of rioting and looting in various cities around the world. They've got reporters out in the US. There's reports of gunfire in numerous American cities. Al Jazeera are reporting that there's also reports of gunfire in various Middle Eastern cities, which they're trying to get a sense of what's going on. There's some very strange footage coming out of parts of the Middle East of very blurred, but it would appear that some kind of military units are engaged in a military action with something. The initial reports were that it was some kind of uprising, but all the gunfire seems to be going one way, and whenever the cameras pan in that direction, there's vague shadows of things disappearing behind buildings, and there's a lot of smoke, a lot of bizarre coloured fumes in the air as well.
Right.
So exactly what's going on, you're not actually much the wiser, but whatever it is, it seems to be global.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Sorry, go on.
I'm also going to be using this opportunity to make my way through the crowd, seeing what I can steal.
Okay, fair enough. Make a. It will. I'm almost said the Guardian, but that's the fantasy version of the rule. So it will be dexterity. Just give me a second.
Stealth?
Sorry?
Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand. Yeah.
Or only get dexterity, stealth, or sabotage.
Okay, so just a straight dexterity
Sabotage,
roll
yeah,
will
fuck.
be fine.
Tie the shoelaces together.
Well, I do have the talent misdirection.
You do. That's a good point. Yes. Would you like to use that as well? In which case, you can read it out so that the listeners at home know what it does.
For misdirection at novice, I can confound people so much they cannot react appropriately.
Yep.
As a major action, I can make a communication deception test opposed by an opponent's willpower self-discipline. If I succeed, my opponent cannot use stunts until the end of the turn.
Excellent. So if you do get caught, you can use your misdirection to try and confuse them. So let me have that dexterity check for you now, please. Oh, yep.
So, can I use stealth, or is it just dexterity?
You can. Well, for the actual pickpocketing, wouldn't be stealth, but you can use dexterity stealth to move amongst the crowd without it being too obvious. Yeah, go on. I'll allow it. Yeah. Okay, 13. That's not bad. So I'm going to take just an average person. Say it's 3d6 plus 1. So we'll add 1 to whatever we get here. 13. So you've gone through the crowd. You've picked a few pockets. You've got wallets and purses and stuff like that. When some guy kind of looks round at you and goes, did you just try and feel me up, mate?
Aye, mate, what about it?
Brilliant. Okay, go ahead and make your communication deception roll to try and confuse him.
Seduction.
Okay, so not a great
Oh dear.
roll. However, it's better than his. He kind of sidles away from you and goes like, "Yeah, okay, no offense, mate, but I don't really swing that way." And just kind of runs off into
Mate, me neither, mate.
he just kind of runs off into the crowd, oblivious to the fact that you've got his wallet.
I would like to check the current, how the train driver is currently doing.
Okay, the train driver's in quite a bad way. He's not liable to die in the next 10 minutes or anything, but he's
You say about a Haymarket, yes?
You're at Haymarket, yeah.
How far is it to? How would we be able to make it without him needing help to the Victoria Infirmary?
I can tend to him in the car, if we can get a car. Which was going to be my point. Can we steal a car?
Jammed. Roads are jammed.
The roads are quite
Yeah.
busy up this part of the town.
Well,
Can we get a truck?
The Victoria Infirmary is like 2 streets away.
The Victoria Infirmary is not far from here, so you could conceivably get there. I know that last week Joe Watson was concerned that the hospitals might already be overwhelmed. There are also ambulances going past, as I mentioned, so you might be able...
But they wouldn't be watching like everyone, so we might be able to
Yeah.
get something.
Yeah, I mean, you
well,
might...
that's the,
I was
yeah.
wanting to ask you something.
Yep, go ahead. To what I'm here
So
for.
you know NASA,
Yes,
they tend to do 24/7 live streams of the Earth.
they do, yeah.
If I tuned into a 24/7 live stream, what do I see?
Okay, what you see from NASA's live stream feed at the moment is it makes no sense to you initially because whatever planet it's looking at, it doesn't appear to be the Earth. Because instead of the blue and white ball that you're accustomed to seeing, what you're seeing is a green and purple one. And it's not the green of plants and whatnot, it's the green of some kind of gas or something. And it's primarily purple, to be honest. Anywhere that it would be night is a sort of dark flashing purple. Not entirely unlike the Aurora Borealis, apart from the colour, obviously. Whereas anywhere that it's daytime, you've got a lot of green flashes coming and going as well. It takes you a while to realise that that is actually Earth you're looking at, but not in any way that you would recognise it.
So apart from obviously the purple atmosphere and all of that, is there any anomalies like storms that seem completely out of place on Earth or
Okay, make a,
anything that
make a perception seeing test for me, please.
there he is. 16 with 4 stunt.
Okay. Yes, you can see one or two areas on the globe that there seems to be a sort of circling like vortex of light and colour that were it white or grey, you would say that would look like a storm to you. I mean, it still looks like a storm, it just doesn't look like a storm on Earth.
Okay.
I'm going to say to everyone, is there anyone who's able to get to a Tesco Express and get me a trolley for this man?
Just stick the driver in a trolley.
There
Well, I'm
was a-
sick of carrying them on my back.
So if we've come out of the Haymarket on
Yeah.
the thing,
Mhm.
I can't remember. Are we close to top
don't
end
have-
of Northumberland Street?
That's right, yes.
Yeah.
There's definitely a Tesco Express somewhere in that area.
I'm pretty
You
sure
wouldn't
that-
have to go. You wouldn't have to go to the Tesco Express if we come out of Haymarket. You could go into Marks and Spencers, so it wouldn't just be a trolley. It would be a Marks and Spencers trolley.
Oh, even better.
Quality.
Fantastic.
But this is night time. Is it 24/7?
It's up until
It
quite
doesn't
late.
matter at this point.
Excuse me, at this point, I suspect people will be looting, right? And if they haven't, we'll just get robbed to start, right?
Yeah. Take out that door. Grab a trolley.
You're actually, from where you are, that's not far from Marks and Spencer's.
You even getting Marks and Spencer's pillow phone.
Yeah, it would actually be closed at the moment, but yeah, you suspect if looting hasn't started yet, it probably won't be long. As far as getting out of the city is concerned, the big major streets like this one, because you know how
But it's a
wide the streets are at the north end of Haymarket, Northumberland Street, and so on. It's like multiple lanes. That's chaotic. It's very jammed. A lot of people trying to get out. Smaller streets, you wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the smaller streets, especially down by the quayside and that sort of way, because although they are smaller, there are so many of them. They might actually be coping with the volume of traffic better. Also, once you get down that way, there are multiple bridges across the town over into Gateshead and then off and away in different routes. So that's a possibility. As for vehicles, obviously there's not a great many vehicles around where you are now because there's none parked. There is no
No
parking.
motorbikes or anything that we can.
Well,
Not here.
I was
There's
gonna say,
no car parks
Forest
around here.
bikes.
if we could get to the garage, my car's there.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
my family, like my dad, will be driving his car.
Yeah.
So if we could find somewhere to meet up, maybe the garage, then we could haul up there once we get this. The train driver some medical help.
The garage is a distinct option because it's over by Manners, which, if you know Newcastle, you know that where you are now, if you go down towards Trillions and turn left, past Central Library, there is a series of like bridges over roads, pedestrian bridges over roads, which lead down eventually to Manners. And then about half a mile to a mile further on, you've got the Star and Shadow Market and the Cluny, and then the river. That's roughly where the where Thomas's workshop garage is.
Right. Well, maybe if we can try and find flag an ambulance down or get this guy to
I
hospital.
can take care of
and
the
then
guy.
make our way.
Yeah, Joe.
I can take care of the guy.
Joe Watson seems convinced he can take care of the guy. Sorry, I couldn't speak there for a moment. However, if you'd like to try and flag down an ambulance, by all means, give me a communications. Now,
Arm waving.
Arm waving.
I mean, I'll try it.
Okay.
Well.
Communications.
Performance or something.
Yeah, performance. I think would probably be the best bet.
13 with 5 stunts.
Okay, 13 with 5 stunts. Let's just see if the ambulance driver... Actually, yeah, an ambulance driver is going to spot you with a number that high because they're going to be paying fairly good attention to the surrounding area. So, how would you like to use the stunts? At least one of the ambulances on the way down there has definitely seen you're trying to flag it down.
Okay.
However, this is central Newcastle. It's late on a weekend night. People try
You're
to...
not also injured, though, with blood on your face.
Yes, you were one of the people injured when the train derailed, weren't you?
Yeah, I did. I got thrown about. So.
Right,
Did you
okay.
not get a bloody nose?
Yes, you did. She did. So there's a fairly strong chance that the ambulance driver is going to notice that. So adding 3 to this, that's a 13. Okay, you can see one of the ambulances that was on its way down kind of swings round into... You know, at the top of Haymarket, you've got like the bus station for that serves that part of town. It kind of swings round through there, through the through where the buses would normally be, and tries to get as close as possible. You can hear the lights are flashing, obviously, but you can also hear the siren is going off in very short bursts, just to try and clear people off while it pulls up as close as it can get to you. So it actually pulls up onto the pedestrianised area, and a paramedic jumps out. You all right? Let's get you taken. Let's get a look at you. So he's noticed your... Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I'll say I'll probably be okay, but I think this gentleman needs more attention.
Right, he takes one look at the gentleman in question and says, absolutely he does, yeah, let's get him in the ambulance right now. Him and one of the other paramedics pull out a gurney, get the driver onto that and start taking a look to see just how badly injured he is. They start asking a few questions as well. How did the injury happen?
Giant squid.
Is there enough
giant
room for me to
murderous
wander
squid.
onto the back of the ambulance with them?
Sorry, I didn't catch all of that, Mark. Could you just say it again?
Is there enough room for me to wander onto the back of the ambulance with them?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, because while they're like sorting him out, I'm going to be perusing the medicinals.
Of course you are.
Of course. Okay.
You never know, some
Any
painkillers may come in handy.
opportunity.
Okay. Make a dexterity sleight of hand check then. That's 16. That's actually pretty good.
That's with stealth, though.
That's right. So I need to take 2 off. So that's 14. That's still pretty good. Let's have a look. No, one of the paramedics still notices you. Say, get away from there! Get away from there! He's kind of swinging
Yeah,
a.
mate, I just wanted to see, mate, if you wanted some of this stuff for him.
We'll sort that out. Get out the ambulance. Get out. Get out.
All
Get
right,
out the
no
ambulance.
bother, mucker.
Can I ask the driver if I can come with him? I'll explain that I'll explain that we found him like pretty beaten up on the tracks after we derailed, and I managed to patch him up. I just want to see that he gets proper care.
He's going to a hospital, so he's going to get proper care.
Well,
but,
I'm
get
going
in
to
the
say,
hospital.
are you a
I'm
relative?
going to say, I think we should stick together, and I'll mention what I've seen on the news, and I'll say I don't think it's, something big's going down. I think we should try and stick together for now. I think he'll be fine.
Meet me at the hospital.
If we can get there.
Yeah.
My work's the other way, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Currently, you're kind of heading in a different direction to the hospital.
I'm going south.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, when everyone dies, a hospital's going to be a pretty good place to get medical supplies.
But you need to know the places that might have medical supplies that the public doesn't know, and I know somewhere.
Well,
hospitals are pretty good bet. I mean, I'm just thinking if we were to get injured, a hospital's probably our best bet. We could borrow a doctor. We could
it's interesting.
borrow an ambulance.
It's interesting because last week you were the one that didn't want to take Reg to the hospital in the first place because you thought they'd be overburdened.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
Well, I'll say, right,
whereabouts is the hospital in Newcastle?
There are several, but the one they're likely to take you to from here would probably be the RVI.
Just
Whereabouts in Newcastle is that?
2
Is that the
streets north
middle,
of where we currently
centre?
are.
Exactly, 2 streets north of where you currently are. Yeah, it's about half a mile tops.
I don't know Newcastle.
It's all right. Your
Are
character
we near
does.
the
Your
middle?
character does. Well,
I'll
we
say,
near the
well, you
middle?
can do what you want, but I'm going to go and get my car.
right.
So.
Okay.
Right then.
So
I'll just point out that when everything goes to shit, there's no way you're getting a car through the streets.
We're not
Yeah,
coming
but
back
if I
that
can
way.
get to my helicopter using my car, then I might be able to.
Right.
Yeah.
So the actual thing is to get there, find out if any of the vehicles are in fit use, and then head towards the coast,
yeah.
not back into the city.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Exactly.
I was suggesting earlier we should probably go live on a farm. That would be a good place. Self-sustainable, middle of nowhere.
My plan anyway. So yeah, we
Need to
can go
figure
the
out-
coast.
A location to meet and say like an hour if we can get what we need.
Okay.
How
Well,
far do I live away from where we are, by the way?
I'm
Is it far
heading
or
I'm heading to the garage,
Right.
workshop,
Yeah, it's your garage as well. So.
yeah.
and I need to do that because I've got the keys. Right.
You
Yeah.
have. Also, the thing at the garage is you've definitely got improvised weapons and whatnot there. Okay,
Yeah.
Ben. So you're being asked by the paramedics whether or not you are a relative of the injured man.
No, but I'm the one who saved his life.
Okay. I mean,
Excuse me.
they wouldn't normally, but they will give you a lift to the hospital with him if you insist. But they have to go now because he's in quite a bad way, and it sounds like your friends here have got, have got kind of things under control. If you want to head Well, we're going to need to know now.
Can I go
How
on
far
army?
away do I live? How far do I live away from where we are now? 'Cause I know the way.
Right, okay, you will live somewhere out by sort of Jesmond is most likely, so a couple of miles, 3-4 miles.
Oh god, it's gonna take forever. Is the hospital on the way there?
Well, I mean, yes, you can swing via that way. There are multiple hospitals in
See,
Newcastle.
if I get the lift to the hospital, will that set me closer to my destination?
Not really, no.
Well, I need to get there.
To
regardless.
be honest, your best option would have been the metro, but for obvious reasons, that's not really a thing at the moment. Your next best option would be a car and take the back roads.
Mark was trying to ask something before.
Okay, Mark, what was it you wanted to know?
Can I go to the hospital with my army?
No, you can't, because I've already caught you trying to rob the medical supplies once. So they're loading them onto
it again, Marker.
No, you can't. We can't just take random people to the hospital. Look, we're going to have to go to start closing the back doors so that Rab doesn't get on. Unfortunately, this means that...
I say, come
hope
on,
your
Rab,
neck
don't
takes
so
a
nasty.
hedgehog.
So they close the back of the ambulance because they just want Rab not to get in, which unfortunately means just Joe's left on the outside as well.
Do you know who I'm?
They don't seem to care because they're pulling away with the ambulance lights going and the siren, and they're off up towards the hospital. One of them winds a window down and yells out, we're going to take them to the RVI. We're going to take them to the RVI critical care unit. If you want to meet them there, you can meet them there. And then they're off. At this point, however, you start to hear... actually, no, give me perception hearing tests, please. And I make this quite a difficult one because it's getting quite noisy in town with all the sirens, and the crowds have stopped just kind of blankly staring at the sky. There's a lot of discussion. There's a lot of people talking. There's screaming from different parts of the city starting on.
I rolled so bad.
Nobody's rolled very well so far. Has anybody beaten equaled or beaten 13?
Yep.
Okay. Those of you who have equaled or beaten 13, you're starting to hear some worrying sounds from behind you, from the metro station. There's sort of clacking noises as if some kind of bony exuberance is coming up the stairs and the metal escalators. Couldn't remember what they called an escalator there, remember? So what would you
here
like?
is that the hangs?
You suspect so, yes.
What, Rab? What you on about?
It's the pure mental hangs, man. They're coming up now. I think we should skedaddle.
Oh, right, yeah. I
we
think
need
we
to
should get moved.
decide
and,
now.
Yeah, let me translate. Run.
Okay, you all take off in a direction that Thomas mentioned his workshop is, which is over by Manor. So you all know to kind of head down this street a bit and then swerve off up to the plaza where you have the Central Library and Trillian's Bar and so on. That's where you're headed for first, because then those of you familiar with Newcastle, you'll know that there's like a tower block with an archway through it. And as you go through that archway, you wound up in a series of sort of labyrinthine, narrow pedestrian overpasses that go over the main roads through the centre of Newcastle. So that's where you're headed at the moment. So you're off and running, working your way through the crowds, weaving in and out as utter chaos begins to break out. You start to hear screaming from behind you. As you look round, you can see the first of these creatures has just emerged from the metro station.
How long is this little run that we've just done now?
Well, this is
Would I
you
have
just.
enough time to make a call?
You can make a call as you run. Yes, that's not a problem.
I was wanting to call my boss, Professor Lindsay, to see that the
I
light
won't be
center.
coming into work today.
Okay, what I'm going to do, because, there's a lot of strain on the... there's a lot of strain on the network. So, I'm going to say roll a D... roll 3d6 for me, please. And if you score 13 or better, then you manage to get through.
It's 3d6 you broke up.
Yeah, 3d6, just as if it was a normal test. And
Never mind, it's engaged.
Oh.
yeah, unfortunately, you're just getting a message on your phone saying the network is busy. Bit like you
Damn it.
tend to at
I've-
New Year.
I've lent Thomas my phone so that he can make some texts.
Okay, he's sending texts so that if he doesn't get
Yeah.
through straight away, they will get through eventually as soon as there's a possibility. Because you know yourself, if you send a text, it doesn't just either go or not go. If it doesn't go the first time, it
Yeah.
tries sort of multiple times. Yeah. Okay, so at the moment he's been... well, actually, Sean, make a roll to see whether your texts get through straight away or not.
And what do we need for that?
3d6, 13 or better. Otherwise, they will be delayed getting through, but they will get through eventually.
The idea is it basically says, get yourselves, I don't know, what should I say to them? Get to the garage, get to the thing.
Yeah, I'd
Got to
say
the
so.
garage.
I'd say
Is
bring
that-
water,
Arnold.
bring food, bring
Yeah,
clothes,
like
etc.
essentials and
Get,
stuff. Yeah.
get yourselves to the workshop.
Okay. Yep, go ahead and see if it gets straight through. It does. So you send a text out to multiple recipients.
Yeah.
When he's done,
Yeah.
I'll take
I'll
my
give you
phone
back your
back.
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll message my dad and brother and tell them to come to this garage as well. Because
Okay.
I know they should have probably got in the car by now.
They should have done, yeah. Make a same roll, 3d6, 13 or better you're looking for.
Okay. Oh, damn it.
Oh, okay, so currently you're getting the message that the network's not able to send the text message at the moment.
Okay.
It will keep trying.
Right.
So you can try again on a regular basis to see if that gets through. So, excuse me. You're now sort of down by where you need to turn off. You can hear the screaming behind you as the first of these things is emerging from the metro station. The crowd is now surging down the street. Lots of people screaming, trying to get away from these things. You can hear screams from other parts of the town as well, especially down by Central Station, which is where all the fire brigade and everything were heading. Could I have
Right.
another perception hearing test from everybody, please? It's getting really loud now with all the sirens and the screaming and the chaos. And
Ooh.
15, that's a... Okay. That's a pass, so is the 14's a pass as well.
And the 6.
6 is definitely not a pass. So you're all...
No, and the 6 on the end, I mean.
Uh,
The stunt. Last one. Marie.
Right, yeah. It's only a stunt if you have scored
Just add to the
doubles.
pool.
Oh, sorry,
No,
I see what
he's,
you mean.
he's saying it adds to the pool.
Of course, yes, it does.
Yeah, because I get 5 stunt points with my pass.
Yeah. Okay, so you can, if you can think of something useful to use the stunt points for, if you generated stunt points, by all means go ahead. Those of you who've got 6s, I will add to the complication pool because obviously Ben is just dying for things to get worse.
Absolutely.
Those of you who...
I'd say...
Sorry, go on.
Sorry.
Right.
That's alright, go on.
Those of you who scored 13 or better, here it's an unmistakable sound. If you've ever heard it before, I'm sure a lot of our American listeners will have heard this in if you own a weapon and have gone to ranges and stuff. Probably fewer of our British listeners will have heard it, but it's still unmistakable. At first, it sounds like a bizarre, not quite a firework, and then you realise that what you're hearing is gunfire in the centre
Where
of
from?
Newcastle.
Which is weird, yeah.
It's extremely weird. It's been fired in 3-round bursts as well.
Armed police,
Who-
maybe?
You suspect it's the armed response team have engaged something down by the central station. You can hear a lot of screaming from there, and then you hear another noise. You hear some quite authoritative yelling through what you can only assume is a bullhorn, and then this loud whooshing sound. It takes you a while to figure out what the whooshing sound is, but those of you who scored 13 suddenly realise that about a half a dozen fire engines have all unleashed their hoses at once, as if they're using them as water cannons on something rather than to actually extinguish a fire. And the sound of chaos from down that end of the city's getting louder and louder, but perversely for you it's fading because you're getting further and further away because you're moving exactly the opposite direction.
I was going to say I kind of want to go and try and like get a gun off a dead soldier. That's what I was wanting.
Well, there's no soldiers engaged in the area yet, but if you want to go,
the ones who were shooting the guns
would be the armed response team, the police armed response team.
I was kind of wanting to go hope one of them died so I can get his gun.
Oh, great! That's very nice.
That's nice.
It's up to
you, Father.
It's up to you if you want to break away from the rest of the party who are literally heading in the opposite direction. If you want to turn around and go a quarter of the mile back towards the danger in the whole city.
I know where they're going. So I'll meet them back there. But I want to. Sneak back, and I want to get a gun.
Your funeral.
Yeah, probably.
It will not be my funeral because I am an excellent sneaky boy.
It probably
It will be once you get back, mate.
Other than that, does everything kind of look normal, or does like the area, the fauna, the trees all look the same?
There's not a great deal of flora in the area at the moment. Part of Newcastle you're in is largely, there's not a lot of green here. So you're currently on the overpass. As you can see Manners Metro Station down and to the right. Some of you got your eyes locked on it because you're half expecting some of these creatures to come out of that area. Whereas you're going to have to run more or less past it, but you could be on the other side of the fairly major road. I think it's 3 or 4 lanes there. But there really isn't much in the way of plant life in this part of the city, not till you get down to the quayside, down by the Cluny sort of area, which is actually
it's always going to be in the back of my head. I mean, if it's these weed creatures, then what else is
going to come? Yeah. Okay.
Am I able to sneak back then? Am I allowed to do that, or?
You're allowed to do whatever you like. I mean, I ain't almost within reason, within the rules we set out about what we're not including in the game. But yes, you can make your way back down towards there. Everybody else is kind of jostling you because they're trying to get away, but there's a lot of chaos because people are also trying to get away from this part of the city as well. Eventually, you can make your way through down towards where you've got a ring of police cars, you've got and vans. The vans are forming up sort of barricades, and the fire engines are kind of behind them, using the hoses as water cannons as best they can. And you can see as these creatures are coming out of Central Station, first of all, they're getting hit by barrages and barrages of high-pressure water from the fire engines. Then you've got the armed response team are now in various overlooking positions, picking them off as they come out of the station. Behind that, you've got lines and lines of very frightened-looking riot police in full riot gear with the shields. The rack and battens are all out and ready. They're still looking nervous because they've no idea what the fuck these things are that's coming out of the station. But so far, the humans are winning because as these things are coming out, the water cannons are they're not blasting them back exactly, but they're hitting them with enough force that they're kind of losing traction and it can't come forward. And then the strategically positioned armed response officers are just picking them off. I don't know if you've ever seen the British ART, but they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, the creatures that are coming out, are they the same ones that we saw before? That we had
Very good question, and yes, they are. Yeah.
They are the same.
Yeah.
And also, if everyone's focused on the aliens and everyone's crapping themselves.
Well, you do have a few uniformed officers trying to get everybody back because you do have a few idiot gawpers. You're not the only one. There are other idiot gawpers there as well.
I'm wanting to snake my way in. like in the chaos and the confusion, the gunfire, and I'm wanting to maybe at least try and grab some armor, maybe like a weapon if I'm lucky. But
you've got no chance of getting anywhere near the weapons or armor.
I find it funny that half of us are wanting to loot and half of us are wanting to just get to this garage.
Yeah, I mean, armor-wise, the only armor in the area has been worn. Weapons-wise, it's not like they're leaving it lying around, you know. They've got it on them. You could try picking a pistol out of an armed response officer's holster, but I would really not recommend it.
That's probably not possible.
It's
What I would
extremely
Depends
difficult.
if you can manage it.
Yeah.
what I'm wanting to do, I don't have pickpocketing, so I'm not going to try it.
Yeah.
But what I will do, however, is trapdoor spider. I shall wait for everyone to eventually lose the battle, and then, you know,
Doesn't
when the
look like
aliens
they're
have came
losing.
out, they will eventually. Trust me. So I'm kind of wanting to
Okay.
take up. I want to like set up shop somewhere.
Okay,
set
make a
up shop
dexterity
somewhere.
stealth roll.
Can I do hiding? Because I'm wanting to hide
Yeah.
somewhere.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Of course you can. Yeah.
And
Okay,
What
17.
He's never seen again.
Yeah.
Yeah, 17's a pretty good roll. So you managed to make a. You can see like uniformed officers are trying to move people away. You see this, and I don't know how well you know the central station sort of area, but there's a lot of.
not at all.
Okay, there's a lot of wide streets there, but there's also a lot of narrow alleyways.
It could hide in the bishop's residence garden or whatever it is.
Yes. There's the Bishop's Residence Garden across the way. There's the narrow street, cobbled street that leads up to the comedy club that goes around behind Gotham Town.
You've got the church,
Yeah.
the cathedral.
So there's
Well, like,
quite
one-
a few
one-
dark little nooks and crannies you could hide in.
Well, one of two things are going to happen. Either the coppers are going to get killed and I'll get what I want, or we will win. Hopefully, it looks like they're winning at the moment, and then hopefully
Shit.
the crisis will be averted. I can go find the guys and tell them, hey,
Yeah.
we're fine.
The impression you get is in hand-to-hand combat, these alien creatures are more than a match for the average person. Although, as you discovered last week, not so much for two angry Glaswegians.
Yeah.
Who beat one to death last week, for those who didn't catch the show. However, against armed humans, they're not much of a match because bullets are just ripping them apart the same as they would a human. ART officers are very, very good shots. They're in concealed positions. They're taking the time to aim. So largely, unless these things come out in large numbers and overwhelm their ability to repel them, you estimate the officers are going to have this under control in the next 15, 20 minutes, probably. That's assuming the only creatures are these things.
I'm quite curious to see how this goes down.
Okay. I'm cutting back to everyone else then. So those of you who are heading for the relative safety of the fairly well secured workshop, because you know your average garage repair shop is quite secure at the best of times, and Tomas is no slouch as far as keeping his secure goes.
Tools.
Yeah,
People try to steal your tools.
that's right, and cars, obviously. So you're making it down through, you're coming past Manners Metro Station now and belting up that street. You reckon you've got about maybe half a mile to go before you get to the Thomas's place itself. This part of the city is a lot quieter. You can still hear the chaos behind you. This part of the city is always a lot quieter at night. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
The bus depot's on the way, isn't it?
The
If I remember correctly, if we go in from Manners Metro, I know it's not far from there. I've always seen it when I come out.
Do you know I kind of place where the bus depot is now? You can't mention it.
It might not be there anymore.
Yeah, I'm not sure that one is now.
There was the Warwick Street station. That's gone.
That's long gone.
The Arriva bus depot, yeah.
I think
Might be
that's,
an Arriva bus
I think
depot
that's
down
further
that
up
way.
and on the left. You're kind of
Right.
heading towards the Star and Shadow cinema. And
No worries. We'll continue on then.
Okay, right, Lizzie, you're familiar with this part of town because you and your sister actually live in Manors, just around the corner from Thomas's garage. The only reason you don't really know Thomas and don't use him is because neither of you own a car. And your sister's got that you live with's got quite strong feelings about driving everywhere anyway, because she's an ecologist. In fact, could I, now that you're you've got a little bit more time, Chris, could I have a intelligence roll from you, please? No, perception. Make a perception seeing.
Oh. Your intelligence is so much higher.
Okay, 15. 15's fine. It's been really bugging you where you think you know Lizzie from, because her face is familiar. You realise that you know her from the gym. She often comes to work out at the same gym as you do, and I've completely forgotten where I was going with this. Oh yes, yeah, and but there's been something else bugging you for a while. Even when you see her at the gym, she reminds you of somebody else. Now that you're heading down to Manors, it occurs to you, you know a student, an ecology student, who sometimes works in joint projects with you, who lives just round the corner and looks a lot like Lizzie. Now you come to think of it, her surname's Ryan as well. It's Vicky Ryan. Okay.
Right, okay. I'm gonna ask her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, are you the one I have those Zoom calls with, Vicky Ryan? Or are you a different Ryan?
While you guys are talking, I'm going to make a quick bathroom stop. I'm leaving the Vox out to the recording though. So
I'm sure I've done some ecology stuff with you.
Yeah, Vicky's my sister.
Oh, you look so similar.
Oh, well, except for her having pink hair and
You don't.
I don't really have pink hair. I don't think we look alike, you know. Everybody tells us we look alike, but I don't think we do.
It's probably the pixels on the call.
Yeah, just pink show through correctly. I mean, I know when I'm on Zoom calls, when I've got to put video on, hideous thing that I have to do that for work is I have a fake background.
Yeah.
Looks like I'm sitting in a nice sunny room. It's ripping it down outside.
I'm just realising the street outside Manors station is called Gibson Street.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Coincidence?
Ironically, I know that. Ironically, that Ben is the local, and I'm not really local, but I know that bit of Newcastle really, really well because I keep going to gigs at the Clooney.
Yeah, I haven't been to. I've been to Newcastle a couple times, but probably about 3 or 4 times, but never really got used to the place. Never been on the metro down there.
I used to go into Newcastle every Saturday during the daytime on the bus.
I think the only bit of it I actually know is around one of the universities, where Chinatown is.
Yes, I know
Yeah.
where you are.
That is. That's the
Yeah.
only bit that I actually know about, and even that not very well. Yeah. Oh, and the big old art museum. You know, the one with the glass one on the river, and
The Baltic.
you go up the and you go up the stairs, and they've got mirrors on the top and bottom.
Okay,
so
and
they
I'm
just
back.
look like they're going on forever. It's pretty cool.
Brian, where would my character live? I was thinking South Heaton.
South Heaton's perfect. Why not? Let's call it
It's
South
certainly
Heaton.
rich area.
It's
Could live in
Well.
Jesmond.
could live in
I was
Jesmond.
thinking Jesmond or
Live in
South
Heaton.
Heaton. Somewhere not centre, but not
Somewhere
far away.
snobby. Yeah.
You can pick either of those two. They're both sort of middle classy areas.
But yeah, I said that, and I know her sister, the one with the pink hair. It looks similar, but they're obviously different because I only seen her on a Zoom call.
Can I live on Runnymede Road? Runnymede Road.
No. Yeah, well, I don't know.
You
Yes.
can die by Central Station. I mean, you know.
Yes.
It's apparently the wealthiest part of Newcastle. They have mansions
Anyway.
there.
He rents a broom cupboard. Bigs it up, pretends he lives there.
So,
Yeah.
so is there a reason
I
I would know her sister? Like, other than ecology?
Yeah, you've done some joint projects with your university and hers. She's at Northumbria.
Alright. I've only had video calls with her.
You've been on some of the same rallies
What
as
time?
well. She's a bit more sort of hard line than you are. Anyway,
The
you're
word is militant.
militant. That's the term. Yeah. So you are now coming up to the Star and Shadow. So just round the corner from here is Thomas's garage. Do you know what? That word will not stick in my head today. I don't know why. Workshop
Garage.
would
Out of
probably.
curiosity,
Yeah.
do any of us actually know Rab?
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh, you do, don't you?
No, we
I
did
know
as
of
well.
him.
Yeah.
Not for the best reasons, but you know of them.
Yeah.
I know him from being a plonker in the gym.
I mean, that's not entirely inaccurate. I'm just going to. Now then, what am I going to do with your
I know I'm
character,
not-
Ben? Because you're not there.
I
but
know
need
I'm
you
not
to see
here,
this.
but can I be here so I can see what's going on?
Well, that's just what I'm wondering. Just what my best thing to do with your character. I'm going to move you out of the Games Master's lair. Tell me if you can still see the map when I do that. I've never actually
Well,
needed to
I
do this
still
before.
have control of Chris's character, so I can just see through his eyes.
All right, okay, that'll do.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, so you've arrived at the workshop, which is currently it's battened down. So there are big shutters down over all the doors. There are shutters over the windows. You notice that there are multiple cars outside the building itself. I say multiple. There are 2 cars outside the building itself. One is an expensive blue and white sports car that's a bit. The paint job's a little bit on the tacky side. Let's put it that way. It's the kind of car. It's the kind of sports car that people buy to show off rather than to actually compete. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And there's also a surprisingly chunky looking. I'm just going to correct that. Compact, green compact.
I thought it was one of those Peugeots, you know,
It's actually a mini.
one of those fat Peugeots.
I should probably have picked red because everybody buys red minis for some reason.
I'm just going to point this out now. There's actually only 2 drivers with Ben not being here.
That's fine.
Okay, I think
What do you mean, 2 drivers?
So I think other 3 of us don't drive. I don't drive.
All right, okay.
La drive.
Rab
can drive.
Rab
Thomas
definitely.
can drive.
Yeah,
Okay then.
Yeah.
We're
Rab
fine.
definitely drives. He just drives cars that don't belong to him.
It's the other way around. Then.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead. Yep.
There's Ben's token.
Yes.
Looks like it says Erin Black Pilot underneath.
Yeah, I'm not the only one seeing that then. I thought it was just on my end.
You're not crazy.
That really is
No,
actually Ben's token. That's why Ben seems to have been on
Yeah.
there twice, and Erin's beneath. So I'll just remove Ben.
See, you guys can't get rid of us. I'm always going to be there.
Yeah, I was a
Sadly
bit
so.
confused why his picture was on my token.
Yeah,
Um,
there you go. I've no idea is the answer. It seems to have pulled out 2 of him and plonked one over the top of
Right,
it.
so
So
let's get to wherever the door is on this building.
okay, so let me just
What's your
sort
face?
out the
You don't
dynamic
know.
lighting.
They look like shutters.
They are shutters, yeah. Okay, so you put the key in the lock and twist it, and the shutters start to screech upwards into the like roller shutters, the big, hefty metal roller shutters. Not unlike the ones we have at Pact, for those of you who are familiar with Pact building.
Looks like a hearse.
Right.
The car inside there is not a hearse. It's what the Americans would call a station wagon, and what we would call a
Estate.
estate. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not doing words with good today.
If you want any car talk, yeah, I can fill you in.
Because you might have to handle this bit then. You know you've got 2 cars inside as well as 2 cars outside. You also know that every car you've got currently needs something doing to it to get it running.
Right.
What they need doing to it differs though. So if you just give me a second, I will find the appropriate bit. So NPCs part 1, part 2.
How long have you had this place then, Thomas?
Good few years.
Good pay.
Mechanics workshop. There we go. Okay, so you have a what is listed here as a white sedan, but as you can see, it's not really white. It's more sort of a dirty
kind of
grey
dirty.
colour. Yeah, it's supposed to be white. It's needing a bit of a wash. You were going to get it fixed and do that first. That one, Jenny, that's your car.
Which one?
The white sedan. That one there.
Right, yeah.
That's up on the thing.
Okay.
Currently, it's having trouble with the starter motor, and the tyres were recently replaced as well, so they've been done.
Right. Can we get everybody inside now and shut this door again?
You can, yeah, go for it. I'm going to have to put that thing back on that I just took off. Okay, so you all head inside and you can smell the smell of sort of grease and petrol and all the smells you get inside these sort of car repair places. And so yeah, the sort of greasy, petrol-y sort of. I find it an unpleasant smell. I don't know about everybody else, but it's quite a large workshop that he's got here.
I'm going to
kinda
look for
like
empty
it.
bottles.
You're going to look for empty bottles. Okay, make a perception searching test for me, please. Let me have a look. 11. Yes, you managed to find a number of empty bottles. You found an empty bottle. What sort of bottle were you looking for?
Anything that I can shove a rag into.
Right. Okay. There are actually some petrol cans as well. You could definitely shove a rag into them. You might want to be careful with them.
Oh God. That's just not gonna go well.
You don't
Okay,
know that.
so what type of estate car is that? That's not a Volvo, is it?
It is. Yeah, let's call it Volvo.
Oh, good.
Take it you like Volvos, right? Yeah.
No, they're just very robust. That's all.
Right. Yes. Okay. Built like tanks type of thing. Yeah. Okay. Yes, we'll call it a Volvo. The estate car is. Let me just find the information about that. I think I might have accidentally closed it again. I'm going to pop this out over onto the other screen so that I can see more, because the audience at home don't really need to see my master handout. It just helps me find things I am looking for, such as the mechanics workshop pop-up, which is over here. Okay, so we've got the white sedan, which I mentioned. We have the grey people carrier, which currently has no tyres. You figure it's actually up on jacks already, so you figure you could replace the tyres fairly quickly. There's a green Mini Cooper outside. Current problem with that is the steering. It has a tendency to just kind of veer off to one side, so you're trying to get that fixed at the moment.
Be tracking.
Yeah, with the tracking. And then there's the sports car as well, which is actually the only car you've got that's fully repaired, is the blue sports car.
Can I roll to see if my texts have gotten through?
Yes, make another roll and see. Okay.
God damn it.
Not yet, they haven't. No, you're still getting a report that the network's a little bit overburdened. You notice there is a radio in the corner though, so you can turn the radio on if you want to. Rab has managed to find both a petrol can and a smaller sort of bottle that he could decant some of that petrol into if you want to make a Molotov cocktail.
Molotov.
Yeah.
Can I make an observation on Erin?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm going to see that her text is not going through. Now I'm saying we could do with one of them satellite type phones, the ones that like doesn't matter what it is, they always go through. Maybe Erin like might know something.
Yes, Erin, you know that you've got one at the Coast Guard station you work at.
Right, yes.
You've actually got two because
Yeah.
you've got a mobile
Just a way
one
to bring that
and
in.
you've got
that's all.
one in the station. Also, you've got the
Right.
advanced communications gear in the rescue helicopter itself.
Right.
However,
Yeah, so I'll
judging
say-
by the strange atmospherics, you also have a strong suspicion that the aircraft will currently be grounded.
Could be a little bit dodgy to be flying anything, but I mean, we can go and try and make our way there and see.
Right, so
Might be
I'm going to
worth
go
it.
into my office, open the drawer, pull out the Colt 45 and the ammo clip and the bottle of whiskey.
Sadly, you don't have a
nice.
Colt 45 and an ammo clip. You do, however, have a bottle of whiskey.
No, don't let Rab see that.
Yeah,
Oh God, no.
it's quite a decent bottle.
Rob starts sniffing the air.
Right. It's his character called Rab sees and nabs it.
Oh my God.
None of you know what the rest of Rab's name is. All you
Does
know is he calls himself Rab. That's it. That's as much as you know.
Or the wee man.
Oh, the wee man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Is there a computer in this office?
Yes,
that's
there is.
connected to the internet.
There is indeed. Yeah.
We've got power, I'll take it at the moment.
Yes, you have.
Right. So what I'll do is I'll say to them, look, there's a computer, get online, see what you can find out.
Okay.
It might be more reliable than trying to rely on a mobile signal.
I suggest I do that because I have research.
Yeah.
Okay. Make a
Uh,
research.
meanwhile-
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I'll try and get some tyres on this car,
Okay.
if that's the only problem with it.
That is the I need that out of my way so I can see past it. The one with the car is the one that needs the tyres also needs. Let me just have a look. Great People Carrier has no tyres. Oh yeah, it's just tyres. The People Carrier just needs the tyres fitting.
And I take it we've got tyres in which we can just fit to it.
You have, yes. Normally, you reckon it would take you about an hour to fit all 4 tyres properly and do all the tests you would normally do before you would let a customer take it away. You don't really need to do all of that, though. You can do it quickly. I was going to say you can do a crash version of the job, but that's probably a bad description when we're talking about a car and tyres. You can,
Hang on, this is the Volvo. Is that what you're on about?
yeah, the People Carrier.
Don't
Yeah.
Volvos normally seat 5 people, don't they?
Well, this is a People Carrier, so this will
It's a Volvo
sit 7.
V70. It's a big car.
Besides, it's a bit of an emergency, like, no need to comply with safety regulations.
That's absolutely true. You could
Since when
probably
does Rab
squeeze.
care about safety
Yeah.
You can easily get 2
Exactly,
people.
mate.
You can easily get 2 people in the boot area.
You can, yeah. You can get a total of 8 people in there if 2 of them don't mind being a little bit on the cramped side. Okay, whoever's using the computer, could I have a research roll from you, intelligence research roll, from whoever's fixing the car? Could I have a...
Car tinkering roll.
That's the one, yes, exactly.
Well,
Am I still scared?
you found something out,
Good
Chris.
roll.
Actually, I'm going to say at the moment, probably not, no. Everybody can
Hey, Chris,
reduce
you're
their
not scared?
fear by 1 point. Everybody
I'm
will
also
have
going to be...
I'm guessing I'm
Can
not
everyone-
going
can-
to, because
Can I get a word in, please?
Yeah.
I need to drop out for 5 to
Okay,
10 minutes.
yeah,
okay?
no problem, go for it. Mark?
I'm just going to say that I'm filling this bottle with something highly flammable.
Okay, yeah. There's petrol handy.
He's peeing in that bottle, isn't he?
It's peeing in that
He's-
bottle.
880% proof comes out in.
So,
Yeah.
Mark, you've managed to make a petrol bomb, a Molotov cocktail out of this. So just give me a second while I find the improvised weapons section. Welder, electrical power tool, sledgehammer, hammer, fire axe. Oh, that didn't include. So let's just go over to improvised weapons in a main rule book then. Hand weapons, it's not that. Firearms also no. Other ranged weapons. Okay, so Mark, Rabs made a petrol bomb, right? The range of the petrol bomb is 15 meters plus your strength. The rate of fire is obviously 1. It does impact and explosive damage. It does wounding damage. And it does 3d6 damage to everybody within 2 meters when it goes off.
You need to prep it first as an action.
Yes, you need to light the rag. So a minor action to prep it, major action to throw it.
And how many is it a roll for it?
You would roll accuracy thrown weapons test. If you don't have thrown weapons, just an accuracy test would be fine.
Would that? Did you say 3d6 damage? Would that be like per round as well? Because it's fire.
If people stay inside the fire, they will continue to take. Let me just have a look. They will continue to take another 2d6 a round for several rounds. Yes.
Oh, that's pretty
Very
good.
useful on certain things.
Out of
like
curiosity, if he got
plants.
stunts, because he potentially inflame somebody.
Yes.
Like he got all the alcohol over. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, Brian, for
Yep.
some reason, I can only see through Chris's token. When
Okay.
he moved into that room, I can only see from
And
his
your
point of view.
eyes.
Okay, that should be an easy fix. I imagine that's probably a problem with a token. Just give me a second. Your
That's not to
dynamic
do with
light.
the torch from.
She hasn't got vision on. It's
Want to see? There you go. Now I take it away.
there you go. Can you see now?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
great.
So, Chris, how did you do with your quite well? Okay, so what you're picking up is a lot of the news sites talking about global terrorist attacks. So terrorists are largely getting the blame for what's going on at the moment. You notice that there are reports of terrorist action in most major cities in the world. This is unprecedented. There's absolutely no way that what you're hearing on the news is what's really happening. This is clearly the cover
aliens.
story. Nobody
What
is
we've seen as
officially
well.
talking about aliens, right? The
Okay.
BBC are claiming that there is currently a firefight in Newcastle upon Tyne, the centre of the city, between the armed response units of the Northumbria police and as yet unidentified terrorists.
I can confirm.
And the news reports that are coming out, the film footage that's coming out, is actually showing gunfire going both in and out of the station. This has got you a bit confused because you're like, who the hell is shooting back? The police are firing. What are they shooting at and who's shooting back? Now, obviously, Tomas can't tell you this at the moment. What Tomas is actually seeing is it's definitely not terrorists.
You mean Joe?
Sorry, Joe. Yes, I do mean Joe. It's definitely not. What you're seeing is like these creatures have attempted to come out and they've been shot by the armed response units.
Can I
I mean,
use
we'll know because we
my
saw
3
them,
stunt
so-
points
Yes, you can use your 3 stun points. What would you
to
like
check
using for?
Facebook and Messenger?
Right. Facebook Messenger's got an entirely different story. They're talking about strange monsters from somewhere. There's a lot of conspiracy theories. There's a lot of like aliens have attacked us and the government are trying to cover it up, which actually is not entirely. From what you know, that's not entirely untrue. Some of the pictures that are going around Facebook and other sort of online sites, Imager and so on, match the creatures you saw in the underground in the metro. It's a lot of people are going, oh, that's obviously fake footage. That's like deep fakes that people have done. You're pretty sure it's not because those are the things you saw that
Yeah.
you're seeing on those sites now.
I know I'm not there or anything.
I'm
but
gonna let people know this, and also I'm gonna make a suggestion that we charge our phones while we have power.
Good idea.
Good idea, good plan. And I'll get my tablet from the office as well.
Okay.
Those images and everything that they were talking about, are they still only going on about the same ones we saw?
Well, you wouldn't know this yet because you're not there, but I will give you a metagamed answer, and the answer is yes. They're only seeing pictures. Actually, that's not strictly true, Chris. You are seeing pictures of other creatures as well, but you don't know whether the
I'm
other
going to
creatures.
hold that to myself.
Right. Okay.
That particular piece of information,
Right.
because I don't want to fear-induce people.
Yeah, you don't actually know yourself whether those other creatures are also genuine or whether that is deep fake or what's going on. You
Yeah.
actually suspect there's a lot of, some people are faking stuff, photoshopping it and deep faking it. Some people are showing real footage, and it's all becoming so confused in the whole thing that it's difficult to tell what's real
So
and
we can
what's
get a
not.
TikTok out of it.
God, you know that the next day
Alien's
you're
about
going
to
to
eat
see
someone.
Yeah. Go
you know
ahead,
that
Ben.
the next
Take a
day you're gonna
selfie.
see some.
Go ahead, Ben.
I was just going to say, the next day you're going to see some Rule 34 stuff of those aliens.
Oh, gotta hope not. Right, okay. So, Ben, down at the other end of the city, what are you doing at the moment? What's happening at the moment is the armed response teams appear to have things under control. There is now like a ring of riot police around the station. There are, even on the lines themselves, where they're above ground, you can see lines of armed police. You can see there is a large group of armed response officers seem to be preparing to head into Central Station. There's no surviving creatures that you can see at the moment. What would you like to do?
They're heading into the station.
Some of them, yeah.
Don't know. I was kind of hoping they were going to die by now, but no.
Well, that's just bloody charming, isn't it?
Oh no, lovely.
Hey, my character's only got his self-interests in mind. He's not bothered if the others die. He wants them good.
Does anyone know Ben's character?
I kind of do. I met him in the bar.
Yeah.
That's about it.
He was an asshole.
I hit on her in the bar. That was it.
Yeah.
So that's no.
Did she give you your number?
No.
Yeah, 1-800-F off.
Oh, you stuck out there,
Yeah.
Ben.
However,
You stuck out
I
there,
let him
Ben.
buy. I
Ben's
let him buy
character.
me a bunch of drinks, but I
Yeah.
didn't give him a number.
However, he did give you his.
Right. Okay.
So if you gave a shit, you could always. The problem is you would have to ring him, and then he would have your real number.
Oh God. Yeah.
Use the office phone.
You could use
Just
the office
like
phone.
three
Yeah.
texts. You up?
141 it.
I can try calling him using the office phone if the
There
landline.
is a
Okay.
landline in the office.
Make a roll to see if you can get through on the landline. It's actually much easier than trying to go through the thing. Marie tells us she'll be back very shortly, but I know she's the only admin on the thingy market tonight because the other admin's power has cut out. So,
They're
So-
not in
Is it
the apocalypse, are they?
communication that I roll?
yes, it is communication. Yeah. Sorry, no, just a 3d6 will be fine because it's not actually anything you can control. It's just whether or not there's enough lines available.
Got a good roll as well. That's not fair.
Well, I'll just
Ah, I
keep
got
the
a shit
3.
roll after.
No, it's all right. I'll just keep the 3, but I'll deduct your communication and any attributes.
All right. Okay.
So that's 6 stun points. That's also another that's also another point in the
Oh, damn it.
complications. You'll be
Yeah.
so pleased to know.
The complication is all the police die, and I get a gun.
No, the complication is supposed to be something that makes life harder for you, and we discussed.
Yeah, there'll be no police to protect me. Whatever will I do?
Shush.
If only.
We discussed you playing as a team member for rather than. So that's 12, 15. 15. That's a pass. So yeah, you've managed to get through to him.
Okay.
Then you suddenly
so-
remember you don't care if he lives or dies and hangs up.
I kind of. Well, I mean.
Ben, your mobile phone's ringing.
Oh no, it's given away his place position.
That's a
I'll have
very
it on
good point.
silent if I was
No,
close.
it's the Nokia tone, and he gets it out of his pocket.
I
and
feel
shouts,
like he's one of those
"Hello,
guys who has
I'm
a
on the
giant
phone."
Bluetooth headset.
Actually, I'm going to say because of what he does for a living, just ignore that role. He has the common sense to keep his phone on silent most of the time, so you can feel it's vibrating in your pocket where you keep it. You have it on silent because, let's face it, with what you do for a living, you would have it on silent.
I'm looking at the guy's name, one sec.
My phone's always on silent.
Aye.
And I'm
What's
not
his
a thief.
name? I'm probably thinking it might be Philip, so I'll check it. Have a look at the phone, see who's ringing me.
Okay, you don't recognise the number. It's a Newcastle landline number, though.
I'll probably just think, oh, it's, Phil maybe talking about the job. Maybe he still wants to go rob it and he's just found a phone box or something.
Yeah, I mean, it would not be uncommon for him to use an untraceable to him landline. There are still some phone boxes around Newcastle because we really are in the 1980s.
Guessing Tomas didn't register his number as a business, otherwise it would have come up with the name of the business.
Right.
Yeah, it might have done, I suppose.
Yeah, I have
either
a
way.
service that does that.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Does
In that-
numbers.
In that case, yes, we'll see. You know that it's a garage, and at first you think, who the hell's ringing us from the garage? And then you remembered, like, the people you escaped the underground with, that's where they were headed. So you think it's one of them. What do you do?
I'll pick up and I'll, oh, you actually made it out.
Sell him insurance.
I'll say, yeah.
Tell him it's accident. He's had a
Say
traffic accident.
Mark, could I
I'm not
have
gonna
another searching roll from you, please? Perception searching.
I'm gonna ask
Nice one.
how he's doing and that he needs to get back soon.
Okay. Rab, you have found some more containers that you could turn into petrol bombs and enough petrol to make them.
Awesome.
So you'd only found one originally on your first roll, but you've just spotted like a crate of old beer bottles. There's 5 there. So you can now you've now got 6 Molotov cocktails, which is actually too many for you to carry, so you can decide who you're handing some of the others out to. Sorry, Jenny, I cut you off. Do go ahead.
I'm just saying, it's Erin. I'll ask what he's doing, if he's, okay, I suppose. I might as well, and tell him to get here as soon as possible because we might be heading out shortly.
I'll say I've been hiding out around the subway entrance where we escaped. There's been a lot of gunfire.
Right.
The aliens, those things, they've just been coming up the subway. And how long's it been, Brian? How long have I been hiding for?
About 15, 20 minutes.
It's been 15, 20 minutes now, and they've only just stopped coming up. There must have been hundreds of them. But the
Right.
police, they managed to stop them. Give it a bit of a sigh.
Well,
And
look,
a
if you're
couple of
looking
them are heading into the subway now to really stop them. So I think this might be it. Hopefully.
Okay. You've not seen anything else, like any other creatures, just something like that?
At this moment, I'll share what I know, and I'm sure he'll hear over the phone.
Okay.
Right.
No, I'll just explain that the panic actually seems to be calming down. The police have done a good job.
Right. As you're saying that, you notice a number of police officers all reach for the lapel radios. All seem to be, some are listening, some are speaking down them, and you notice that suddenly a lot of the ART guys are getting back in their vehicles and heading off at high speed, and the sirens are going again. It's
I'm
not
back.
hello, Pet. It's not all of them that have gone, but it's some.
What direction?
From
I mean, I'm
where
not
you
there,
are, they've
so-
just sped off north, south, east, west, which would be along towards the life centre and up towards Thingy Road, Westgate Road.
Ben just put some sunglasses on and get something that looks like a pipe and say you met MIB.
If you want a better idea of which direction they've gone, Ben, you can see. You'll have to come out of your hiding position and see if you can figure out which way to go once they're out of sight.
I want to do a final ditch attempt to get myself a weapon, and then if this doesn't work, which I highly doubt it will, I'll just go back to the garage. I want to just, walk up like I'm meant to be there. I want to just grab some stuff, and if I'm questioned, I'll just simply say, "Oh, I forgot my uniform at home."
Nobody's
I'm here to help.
Nobody's leaving any weapons lying around, Ben. I think I've explained this a couple of times.
I know. You just said that a couple of the officers went off, which means there's some left, so there'll be a truck for at least gear left. And I know you said that it's guarded, but if I walk up there,
no.
You're gonna get yourself shot.
Yeah. A, you would get yourself shot. B, that's not how.
Why I'm gonna
right, stop talking.
them that I'm a police officer.
Stop talking. I'm trying to answer your question. Okay. That is not how the British ART handle transporting their weapons. They don't leave them unattended. Once they're out of the station, they are in the officer's hands. They're not anywhere else. If you want a weapon, you're going to have to walk up to a policeman and take it out of his hand.
It's not America.
Oh,
So it's possible.
it's not possible, Ben.
Even the I would say the New York whatever it is, the emergency
SWAT?
response unit, the ERU.
That's right. It's not.
Wouldn't
not
leave
SWAT,
the
no.
weapons unattended.
No,
It'd be operatives in the vehicle at all times.
that's right.
Well, if I'm
Coordinate things.
still on the phone, I'm going to tell them to stop fucking around and just get back here. And we can find somewhere else. Like, there might be army surplus stores we could go to.
Oh, there's
get
definitely
weapons,
there's an army surplus
other-
store up on Blackett Street, which
Yeah.
is kind of
Awesome.
back the way you came. Sorry, go ahead, Ben. Yeah.
I was going to say I wasn't expecting anything to be left unattended. I just thought they would have like a weapon spare, and I could just convince them I'm a copper.
No.
Just bullshit my way to it.
Right.
I mean, obviously, they're not just going to leave a
I would-
rifle like stocked up against the truck. Obviously,
They-
it'll be guarded. I was just going to be like,
Arrested.
"Oh yeah."
I would like to
Well,
roll.
Arrested.
Right. I'll explain this, and then we'll drop the subject. Yes. That is
I have
not
quite a
how
better idea.
weapons in the British police force are used. If you are a police officer who is ART trained, you have a weapon. That is your weapon.
Yeah.
It
Wouldn't
will
just
not be
give you a weapon.
separated from you. No other officer will lend you theirs.
Can I roll a persuasion against Joe to get him
No,
here?
because if you roll, I will just simply do the opposite.
You
Oh my
can't
God.
actually do that against
No,
another
you
player character.
can't use that against another player character. You can't kind of subvert their ability to play their own character. I should have
I'm gonna
popped up
ask
the
them,
just a second. I should have popped up the mechanics workshop for you to see
Yeah, got
now,
it.
so you should see the information. There you go. Sorry, go ahead, Ben. You were going to say, and this
I
is
want to
better
know
be
what their
sensible.
I want to know what their plan is.
Whose plan? Sorry.
The groups.
Oh,
I
the
wanna know what
parties.
plan is
Right,
because
yeah,
right now my character's deciding whether it's better
Right.
off I just go home and wait it out or come with them.
I mean,
Well, I'm going to say to him, I think we need to go try and get along the coast. I've got a helicopter, right, and a satellite phone that we might be able to use if need be. And it's better to stick in a group, safety in numbers, and all of that.
Right. Plus, we've also got tools and transport.
Yeah.
Also, ironically, since he went in the hopes of getting a weapon off the police, he's now the only person that doesn't have access to one.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I could go home and get my bow and arrow.
You
Which
could.
is what I want to do.
You could. Your bow and arrows, I mean, what the rest of the party have is improvised weapons. And that's one of the reasons I popped up the mechanics workshop there, because it includes a list of the improvised weapons and their stats. Whereas that bow is actually really quite powerful, because the bow does, it's a compound bow, it does
Well,
ballistic damage. So most armour is
Depending.
not going to
Silent.
stop it. And the silent, yeah.
Would it be quicker for him to walk from where he is, or come back here and then we can drive?
It would definitely be
to
quick.
his house.
It would definitely be quicker to go in a car. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
So it would be quicker
So-
for me to go to them and then drive rather than just go to my house.
Yes, I believe so, because didn't you say you lived out at Jesmond?
Oh, I was just.
Right.
That is, I guess, sure.
Yeah.
Ben could get the sports car.
I mean,
go
what
to
would
the
what would
house.
actually be quickest if it would be if they came to pick you
They
up,
meet
but
there. Oh.
but
Yeah,
from
I mean, we could, but I wouldn't really want to go heading back right into the middle of where everything's going down.
okay.
Problem.
Well, let me just
Can
work
they
out.
meet me at my house? Can they meet me at my
Yes,
house?
yes, yeah, they could
Okay.
do that.
Okay.
You would need to give them the address, but there's no reason why they couldn't do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
It's
fact-
the giant mansion.
It's not a giant mansion. It's not a giant. Having said that, it is a.
Go to the,
It
go
is.
to the giant mansion, right, and then look behind it.
Yeah.
Shed
Look
on
at
the
caravan
left.
in the garden.
Having said that, it is a surprisingly nice house, and it is like a 5-bedroom. It's a big place for Newcastle. There are quite some nice big places out in Jesmond, but then you've no idea what Adam does. But like, just from looking at the way he dresses and deports himself, money doesn't seem to be a problem for him, to be honest.
Well,
So
when I was talking to him at the bar, would he not have told me what he does? Like,
I would
at least
sure.
his cover of what he.
He works in
That's-
finance.
that's
No, that-
entirely up to Ben. Ben, what did you tell her?
Right.
Finance redistribution.
Well,
Ben's
I ain't
called
gonna.
Joe,
I
by
ain't,
the way.
I'll probably just like. I don't know. I'll just name off some bullshit big money job. Like, I'm a lawyer, or
Okay.
I don't know.
Right, okay.
I own a company. Whatever.
Right.
I'll say I own a company.
Okay.
I own a law firm. I'll just bullshit that.
Okay, there are actually
Right,
a couple of law firms based out at Jesmond as well, so that would kind of fit.
It's,
Uh-huh.
it's,
When
it's
in-
that
when in
firm, isn't it?
reality-
Hadaway and Scheitman.
Yeah.
When in
Yeah.
reality, it's actually my parents who own
you
the law
have
firm.
no,
Okay, good.
you have absolutely no idea, Sean. I used to work for a solicitors in Newcastle, and their actual nickname isn't. There is a firm called Hadaway's,
Yeah.
and their actual nickname isn't far off that.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm saying it.
Yeah, I was going to say everybody in Newcastle calls that firm by that name. Yeah. Okay, so Ben, make a note of what you've just told me about your parents. That's going into the canon of your character because I like that. You can keep that.
I'm going to ask Thomas if he can get the white sedan running.
If you can get the white sedan running, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
so
It's my car, isn't
putting
it?
tires on this other car, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I take it that. Do I need to roll for that?
Yes, you will need your mechanic tinkering roll, but I think you made that about half an hour ago.
13 for that one.
That's an easy pass because it's a pretty easy job putting the tyres on the thing. So you
Yeah.
only needed to beat 7.
Right. Okay. So the other car is actually on there.
Yep.
I'm getting starter motor and whatever else is required.
Okay.
That's Erin's car, isn't it? And that's the
Yeah.
white sedan. Yeah, so if you give me a tinkering roll for that one, intelligence tinkering, and get your bonus for it being cars.
Cars. Plays Gary Newman in the background.
Wow.
Whoa.
Right.
So, so go grease lightning.
Yeah, pretty much.
Grease lightning. Go grease
You've made my car like amazing.
Well, yeah, decide what you want to do with 6 stunt points from the. Oh, God, which stunt pool?
Can you add rocket launchers on the side?
No, we can't, Ben. I mean, Jenny.
I've just 18'd your car.
Yeah, you can probably fire like cabbages out of a cannon from it now if you want.
Compressed air cannon with potato cannon.
I mean, you could, if you wanted to, spend some extra time and weld some metal plates on for armour. It would reduce the handling of the car a bit, though, obviously. Or you could just do this job a hell of a lot faster.
It's got a handling of nothing.
Yeah. Marie, could I have a perception seeing test? Because you did say earlier you were going to be watching for stuff happening.
Put some rebar spikes in it.
That's just what I was going to
Yeah.
say. Putting some cow catcher style
Mhm.
parts on the front of these cars.
Okay, so 14 with 4 stunt points. Yeah, okay.
If you have
Lizzie is very... Also, don't forget, by the way, that Lizzie's sister lives around the corner, so she's probably going to want to go get her before anything else, because she lives fairly close.
Yeah.
However, there is a slight issue with that, which if you look to the south, you should see that in just a moment.
There's beasties, isn't there?
There is a little bit, yes.
Yeah, I'd probably want to get to my apartment to see if my girlfriend's okay and all that.
You will definitely want to. Were you one of the people that had sent texts waiting for a reply?
I
If
was
so,
going to at the start, but I didn't end up.
Ah, right, okay. Everybody who has sent text can make another roll to see if they get through.
Okay.
I guess I would have, though.
Oh my god, that's the third time I've rolled that.
It is.
now.
I rolled high. I rolled 15 when I sent mine.
You did, yeah. You did. Okay, so you seem to be having the exact same problem that Marie has whenever she rings the doctors. Every time it's just doot. I can ring the doctors at the same time, get straight through.
Can I use the landline number here to try and call them instead?
You can make another roll. You've got a slightly better chance with a landline. In fact, if you're ringing oh no, they're in the car, aren't they? It's going to be a bit
Still mobile.
so it's still mobile at one end. But yeah, you can try it. Go ahead.
Yeah, might be a bit.
I'll split the diff. There you go. You're through. You take the landline and dial, and you hear your brother's voice going, "Erin, where are you, man?
Right,
Me and Dad have been sat up here waiting for you. We can't find you. Where you at?"
Oh, we've gone to the... What's the name of the garage?
Gallagher's Auto Repairs.
Gallagher's Auto Repairs, and I'll give them the address. I'll say you need to get here.
Yes,
Hurry
it's the
up.
postcode.
I'm gonna yell, stop! We've
Hammertown.
got incoming.
Right, you are.
We've got
Oh, okay.
some of the beasties from the subway are outside.
Yeah.
I can see them coming.
They're moving down
Right.
the street. They're coming at you from Manners Metro route. It suddenly occurs to you that they've come up through that metro exit. So, as you guys inside start to organise your defence, whilst Tom finishes off fixing the white car, he needs a couple of rounds just to get it finished, and then he can drive it down off I say a couple. He's going to need a few rounds to get it down off the thing. You guys can start organising your defence. You can have 1 round's worth of movement as long as you stay on this map, because otherwise you're going to be off up the street and these things are going to chase you. You can be doing that whilst I cut over to Benjamin. Ben. You are on the street making your way back through. The town has gone remarkably quiet. Most people are now off the streets, or off the kind of streets that you're on. You can hear the noises of people in other parts of the town, but you're largely sticking to areas that you think will be relatively quiet to get you back home. Now, walking from where you are to Jesmond, that's a hell of a long walk. And as you're going, you're starting to think, maybe it would have been a better idea to get them to pick me up en route.
Can I just interrupt a sec?
You can, yes, go ahead.
I will be looking for any bikes, any bicycles.
Good point.
A scooter.
They do have those rental things, don't they? Yeah.
Do in a
I am
couple of places.
completely fine with stealing a mobility scooter if need be.
Wow, well,
Yeah, they can be speedy.
I am speechless.
Sentences you never thought you'd hear.
Thing is, they don't allow them on the metro.
Nobody. I mean, they don't, but he's not on the metro. So.
No, but I'm saying that they don't because people were ramming the doors with them.
That's right. Yeah. Okay,
Really?
so I just need to find. Okay. I
And
mean,
maybe potentially if there's any like auto repair stations, or if there's any like places I would know or to find any of that kind of things, I might take a little bit of a diversion towards that area.
Here's a thought. There is a sports shop up on. It's not Granger Street, but it's not far from Granger Street. No, it is
One
Granger
where
Street.
Barclays Bank used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Golf cart.
it's actually not very far from where you are, Ben. You think you could get there?
Golf
Okay,
cart.
absolutely.
Getting in might be tricky, but that's kind of what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'd be able to get some cycling shorts and skis.
Are we still on the line with him?
No, yeah. It's
No,
up to-
I would have hung up.
Right, okay.
You know what I want to know?
Yeah.
What I want to know is, right, if you go past Manors out of hours, they've got loads of metal shutters down.
Yes.
If you go past any of the metro stations after hours, they've got loads of metal shutters down.
Yeah.
Why did they not just shut the metal shutters?
Because somebody would have to have done that from inside.
And you're all dead.
Or ran away, is the
Or
other.
ran away.
Yeah.
Well, aye, fair enough.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going to make it up, or you're going to attempt to make it up to the thing. I just seem to be missing something that I need to find here. That's odd. Okay, not a problem. Ben, you're making it up towards the sports shop. So let's go over to there. Okay, so the sports shop itself is quite a large one. It's a Halfords as well, just round the corner from it, so you could go to either one. Halfords would have like bikes, cycles, that sort of thing.
Forklifts. Can I nick a forklift?
They
Bit
don't
slow.
have forklifts. I don't know why you think Halfords might have a forklift. But so there's them, right? They would have.
Which one's Halfords again?
They sell
Bike
bikes. They're a bike shop.
Oh. I was thinking of like B&Q.
I think you might
I
have
was thinking
been.
like Halfords like was a B&Q. Anyway, what were you saying?
Right. Okay, so there is Halfords, the cycle shop, or there is a Sports Direct nearby as well. Now, in the Sports Direct, you might be able to pick a few other things up that might be useful. Some kind of improvised weapon like a baseball bat or
Baseball bat.
cricket bat, if you want to be, English about the whole
Golf
thing.
club.
Golf club, yeah.
He keeps looking for armour. He'd be able to get at least the sort of armour that my character has, which is like knee pads, elbow pads, some kind
Yeah.
of helmet.
You would actually
I'm
cricket
actually-
box, American football armour you can buy in there as well. It's not,
Ah, yeah.
Cricket pads.
yeah.
I was actually looking at
Oops.
armour for you guys because
And
armour
baseball
would
bats?
impede my
Yes,
stealthiness.
baseball bats, exactly. That's true. it
What a
would.
fencing padded jacket.
Yes, a fence and padded jacket will give you some armour protection as well. Obviously, none of the types of armour you're going to get in a sporting shop are going to stop ballistic damage. But a lot of them will stop impact and stun damage.
Mm.
Yeah. Motorcycle armor, like.
If you want motorcycle armour, you'd have to head up towards the bike shops on Westgate Road, which is actually also
Yeah.
not that far from where you are now, Ben, but it's going in the wrong direction if you want to get home.
Nah, I'd rather get a bicycle.
Okay.
Then at least I don't have to, steal it, hotwire it, deal with the owners,
Of course.
Wouldn't
yeah.
need fuel.
Won't need fuel.
fuel
That's
as
very
well.
true.
And it's loud. It's much rather just get a bike,
Okay.
a pedal
yeah.
bike.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so you get to Sports Direct. Once there, you find that, not surprisingly, the shutters are down. They've been locked up for quite some time, probably before this all kicked off. However, the shutters, if you were to force them, would probably trigger an alarm. You could try.
I think the police have got better things to worry about at the moment than someone robbing Sports Direct.
Yes, I think you are probably right. In fact, you're surprised looting hasn't started in this part of the city yet. Although you're still away from the Eldon Square, which is probably where it's likely to start. So you could try picking the locks on the shutters to see if you could.
I'll try picking them first, and
Okay.
if all else fails, I'll just...
The back door might be easier.
Give me the back door. Actually, would be easier. You could go around the back and try the rear loading bay door. Do you want to try that?
Yeah, it'll be easier.
Okay.
Whatever would...
It's also less likely to be picked up on the security cameras. You suspect there's still a risk. So, give me a dexterity sabotage roll to try and get through the back doors.
Yeah. 17 with 6 stun points.
Right. Okay, that's pretty good. Would you like to use your 6 stunt points then on something?
Would that be for exploration?
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah. Sorry.
Let's have a
Well,
look.
it could be talking nicely to the door. I don't know. Sway the crowd.
You're also trying not to get on the security
yeah, I
camera,
would-
so you're gonna need to give me a dexterity stealth roll as well.
Resources. I could use paid dirt to get me resources. That's the only one that's kind of useful, to be fair.
Okay.
Robs the till while he's in there.
Gets the lock off the door. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, my guy, his downfall is greed. He
It
does
is.
love things. So could I use a stitch in time, and that I gain 1 SP per spent? Could I use that spent SP to maybe rob some money or get something valuable?
Yes. Yeah, you can. Okay, so you managed to get through the shutters. So there's a locked
You've got
door
stealth
behind, and I'm still going to need a stealth roll so that they don't get you on camera as well.
Is it 12 a pass?
You don't know. You think
Because
you
I
may have
have
passed.
because I have scouting.
In that case, re-roll, because no, it wasn't. If you have stealth, you know that. There you go. Okay, so you managed to figure out what angle you're going to have to be at for the camera not to pick you up, and then you think, I can't actually pick the lock from that angle, but I can approach the lock from that angle. So you pull your jacket inside out over your head so that you can't tell what clothes you're really wearing or who you are. You creep up to the door, and in these really awkward circumstances of wearing your jacket inside out and pulled over your head like a school kid, you pick the lock. You are absolutely aware that that is on camera, but you're pretty sure nobody can work out that that's you without a bit more information than that. You hope.
Use my sleeve to wipe the handle and everything.
Yeah, you wipe the handle down with your sleeve. You actually probably have some close-fitting rubber gloves on you. Remember what you were doing when before the apocalypse started.
Very
You've
true.
probably got your kit with you. So you pick your way in. Make another dexterity sabotage test for the. No, you don't need to. You don't need to because you're coming in the back, weren't you? So you're in. You stop to rob the till. You can add 1 onto your resources. You can then pick up the bike you wanted. So you now have a bike that will speed you up a bit. Make a note.
Get me one of those nice racing bikes, the really fast ones.
Yeah, okay. Make a note of it in your character sheet. You've managed to steal one of those. What else would you like to steal while you're in there? You can pick another 2 items before you think I'd better get out in case anybody does come.
I'll just.
Have a think about the people, maybe.
Well, I was gonna get armor for you guys because armor would slow me down.
Yeah.
And I want to be as stealthy as I can.
Okay.
It would slow my skills down as well, so not for me.
Okay.
So what do you guys want? Anything that might pop to my character's mind?
Well, we don't know
No.
anything about this, so
Yeah.
This is a sports shop. Would they?
You
not
don't know
have
much
any,
about
like...
us, though, either.
Yeah.
You-
It's a sports
Good
shop.
enough.
This is a sports shop. Would there be any like archery equipment?
Yes,
in
there
here?
there
I
is.
can just-
There is a compound bow here. Point of fact.
Oh, I can just get this one.
There are several. You could avoid having to go home and just nab this compound bow. I'm going to pop the stats for it in the chat for you.
grab as many arrows as you can, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah, get a quiver.
Okay.
Absolutely. Can I get one of those duffel bags and just stock it full of like arrows and cash?
Yes, you can. Modern arrows, unlike in the medieval period when people tended to carry arrows in either the dozen or the score, now they're sold in packs of 6 in the UK. So you just scoop up a handful of them, roll a d6 for me, and add your dexterity.
Basically, I suspect they'd have sports bags in there.
Yeah, they will. Okay.
I got 4.
4, okay. You've managed to pick 4 packets of arrows up and stuff them in the bag. So you've got 6, 12, 24. You've got 24 arrows, tungsten tipped, only the best for you.
Excellent.
You have also grabbed. Would you prefer a pool cue, cricket bat, or baseball bat?
I'm kind of thinking cricket just because it's reminding me of Shaun of the Dead.
Okay. So I'm about to copy and paste that in for you as well.
Thank you.
There you go.
But if
Uh,
you got a baseball bat, you could wrap barbed wire around it.
Oh, I could be Negan.
It could be
Oh,
Yeah.
can I actually have a baseball bat?
Go on,
that
I'm
would
go-
actually be cooler.
I'm gonna say you managed to grab both. On the way out, you see the baseball bat, and you think to yourself, "Fuck it, I'm gonna take that as well." So you just grab one of the baseball bats. So I've put the stats for both in there for me. Add those to your character sheet, please.
Just need your leather jacket now.
Just need a leather jacket now. Yep. Okay, so back at the workshop. Sorry, see what I mean about that word? Just will not stay in my head. Back at the workshop. Is that where everybody's starting for this fight?
And what happened to my text?
Yeah.
Have you seen my Facebook avatar?
No. Sorry, Chris. What happened to your text? Did you say?
Yeah, I got a 15.
Right. Yes, you've got an answer back. Who was it you
It
were
was a
texting?
girlfriend who works for 111, but she's at home at the moment.
Right. Okay, she's at home. She's safe at the moment. She's been trying to get through to you. You've managed to get, like, as you've got a text through, there's about 8 come through from her. Where are you? Are you okay? Are you safe? Get back in touch with me quickly. She's safe. She's wanting to know what's going on. She's heard a lot of sirens. She heard what sounded like gunshots in the distance. She's heard that there are terrorist attacks going on in Newcastle city centre. Are you all right? And any information you asked her for, you will get that back. So what was it you were asking her for?
It was about where the emergency response was going, and I was wanting to make sure that she gets to a safe location.
Okay, well, she thinks she's safe in the flat, to be fair, but
I'm probably posh enough to have my own private security thing.
I don't think you're quite that
No.
posh, no.
Oh, at least some sort of like basic AT whatever it is security. That shows secure enough to stay in a normal house sort of thing.
Oh yeah, I mean she's got a burglar alarm and good locks on the door and a lot of security
I'm
equipment.
telling her that I'm at Gallagher Garage.
Right.
And we'll try and get there, but we've got a bit of a situation at the moment because Lizzie just shouted at us.
Right. But is everybody? Well, she says, "Are you okay though? Are you safe?" And at that point, things get a little bit too busy for you to worry about that right now. So I'm just going to shut a few of my extraneous pop-outs, and we are going to go over in just a moment's time to live to the site of the next fight.
Can I ask a question?
You can, yes, go ahead.
Will I at any point arrive during the fight, or am I too far out?
You
If
are.
you picked up the gear and
Well,
you're
we're 15
cycling,
minutes away, so
I am cycling, but I don't actually know how far I am away.
Okay. Cycling there is going to take 5-10 minutes. So
Okay,
it
should
depends.
hopefully be over by then.
Yes, probably likely to be over by then, you think, but it depends because you'll have started this before the fight started over at their place. So let me just get the turn order up.
so he turns up and finds us all dead, and the monster's chomping on us, and then he dies because they just basically sneak up behind him while he's so shocked with others all dying.
I mean, I'm not saying that that's not possible. Go ahead and roll initiative for me, please. Make sure that you have your token highlighted when you do it, and it should go straight into the turn order. So Erin and Tomas have both gone straight in.
Damn. Pretty good roll.
That's
14.
okay. 12 was
14's
the
not
actual
bad.
dice roll. One more than average, or half a point more than average on 3 dice.
So I just need to roll these guys.
Something I was wondering, if dice roll is meant to be like completely random, what would be the average rolled amount on like a 20-sided dice?
11.5 on 3 dice.
There you go. That was a pretty quick answer. Okay.
What about like a D20? What would it be on
Thomas,
that?
D20, 10.5.
It would just be half.
2, 3,
Why
4.
0.5?
No. You add up all the values and then divide by the number of sides.
Okay,
Oh, the
so
mean, right.
can I?
So effectively, you take the number of sides, add 1 to it, and then halve it.
Okay, so
Okay.
I currently have Erin and Thomas. I have their initiative in, and Lizzie's has gone in. So that means that Rabs
Try
hasn't.
once it.
So let me just add
That's
a
a lot of
turn.
Man of Wars.
Is
So
Mark awake?
Mark, what was Rab's initiative? He's nodded off again. Right, you are. Who else is not in there at the
I
moment?
can't seem to do it because my initiative is blank, and I can't seem to
Yeah,
put
just
anything.
click on the
click
initiative
initiative.
bar.
It
Yeah,
will still
mine's
do
is
it.
blank as well.
It's okay. Just click it. It will still do it for you. That's part of
All
whatever
right.
went wrong with Roll20 today. So it's not showing it, but
Whoa.
it is working.
He's on 21 then.
Rab's initiative.
Absolutely. What can I say, man? A little Glasgow hairy as a fight's breaking out, and he cannot wait to get in. So much so that he's the first.
Well, he's already
And it's
done one of them, hasn't he? Before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's already killed one. Well, him and Lizzie killed one.
Aye.
No, it was him.
Yeah, probably.
And he saved her.
Okay, Rab to
Rab's
go.
on
What would you like to
revolt.
do?
He's got Molotovs in his hand.
Yeah, it's like,
I was going to say, can I get a clear shot at launching one of these?
not from where you are, but you wouldn't have to go very far outside to get a clear shot, and the creatures are still bunched at the moment because they're really not expecting this. So you could move and still do your prep action. I'll allow you to bundle that into a single minor action, as long as you only move up to your maximum speed and no further. Yep.
Got stunts as well. Oh no, that was initiative. Sorry.
That was for initiative, and you don't
Ignore
get
me.
stunts for initiative. Yeah.
Aye.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Rab comes out with a Molotov cocktail in one hand and his lighter in the other, and like a lit. Let's call it a rolly, shall we? But you all think you know what he's rolled in there. In his hand, he's got like a lit rolly in his mouth, despite the fact that he's holding a petrol bomb.
And then a garage full of petrol fumes.
Yeah.
And he sees these 4 creatures coming straight across the tarmac. Adam.
Who's got the other bombs?
Yeah, who did you give the other
I
bomb?
do. They're at the doorway.
Okay.
You.
We'll
They're
say,
just at the door.
we'll say you've got 2 on you, and the other 3, because there were 5 in total, the other 3 are at
6
the
in
doorway.
total.
6 in total, so the other 4 are still at the door. So, what would you like to do now?
Lunch said Molotov cocktail
I had a feeling you might do
with a
that.
cry, "Morning, ya bams."
Right, okay, so you can actually, if you would just like to ping where you're going to target for me, because you can actually throw it that far.
Well, I can't ping, but the square in front of the middle one.
I can't ping either, actually.
I can.
There we go. I can now. I
Same.
just need to change the setting. Okay, so you're aiming there. Make a attack roll for me, please, using your accuracy throwing. If you have throwing as a focus, if you don't, just accuracy will be fine.
Oh, nice.
5 points of stunts.
Oh dear. Right. Okay. So every one of the aliens is within the blast area.
So, barbecue squid alien then?
Yeah, it's starting to look like that. Just give me a second.
S-
I'm going to.
Somebody says from the back, Harry Calamari.
This is what I wanted the kaboom to be working for, but it's not actually working, sadly. So,
I feel cheated.
yeah, it is a bit of a shame. And I tell you what. There we go. So let me find a blast.
And I can't see any of this action because I'm in fixing a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it went off there, and it's still not quite big enough. So hold on. So hold on. I'll start over. Right there. I need it to come out 2 that way, and then 2 that way, and center it there. So you lob the petrol bomb. It lands right smack dab in the middle of the creatures and go. There's a loud explosion. There's a blast of fire. Liquid petrol rolls out from the impact and immediately catches fire. Every one of those creatures is going to take 3d6 damage. So
Ooh, nice.
please do feel free to go ahead and roll 3d6 damage, you git.
Collectively or for each?
I'll tell you what, roll separately for each one and we'll see. So the first guy takes... oh my god, right, okay, so that one's dead. And
Don't mess with a Ned, apparently.
exactly. This one's still alive. This one is also still alive. Hold on.
What, on fire?
But on fire. Yeah, well, one of them's on fire, certainly. And the one at the back is largely... he hasn't quite escaped it unscathed, but he hasn't been as badly scathed, let's put it that way. Because he's largely hiding behind the one in front of him, to be honest. Well,
It kind of used 2 tentacles to pull that one across in front. Going to...
yeah, pretty much. So, every combat round that gets back to you, right, if they're still in the fire, they will take more damage.
Can he use his stun points to set them on fire themselves?
You can... how many stun points did you get? 5?
5.
Okay, right. You may pick combat stunts, or you may select one of them to set on fire so that it will take damage every round.
Hold on, I'm having a look at combat stunts.
Okay.
So would it be general and firearms?
Yes, use general and firearms, I think. So yeah, that's not going. He's just, not bad going. He's just run outside with a spliff in his mouth, a lighter in one hand, a petrol bomb in the other. Said something barely comprehensible in Glaswegian, lit the petrol bomb, lobbed it, and as it's exploded, one of these things has just gone up and just its burning corpse just collapses to the ground, sputtering the hot fat of the creature as it melts in the heat. And the others have also taken quite a pasting from this fireball that's going to stay there as well for a while.
Right, 2 of them I'm going to use to knock 2 of them prone, which is 4 of my stunt points.
Right, yep.
And my other stunt point I'm going to use for take cover.
Right, yes, so you can move yourself back into cover, and I will knock these 2 prone. And I was supposed to add my fancy extra thingies that I bought for this, and I forgot, so never mind. So I'll just have to use the crappy old black and white ones. So 2 of them, that's 1.
Got
That's
flame
2.
markers and knockdown markers.
Yep. Okay, so 2 of them are down. One of them's still in the fight. Adam Taylor, what would he like to do? Chris?
Yeah, sorry. I've got a so I have a sledgehammer without the brick on the end of it.
Right. Yep. So a stick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm better with it without it on. So
Yeah, treat it as your bow staff if you want.
what are these?
Those are drums of cabling and so forth. So the green one is electrical cabling. The black one is like rubber piping.
Okay.
Probably
it seems like
insulation hose.
Bab's having too much fun. Can I do a search for? Is there any like rebar or like
Okay, make a perception
something I
search
can attach
test.
to the weapon?
Yeah,
Sorry?
make a perception searching test for me, please.
There's a sledgehammer in here, another hammer, a fire axe, and some electrical power tools which have battery packs on them which
There-
are charged.
There are indeed. So what
And
you
there's
found?
a welder.
is all of the things that Sean's just mentioned there. So if you bring the list up of the workshop, it'll tell you what the...
yeah, you can't have the welder, though. It's locked.
Yeah, you can tell us what... You can pick any of the improvised weapons. You've found them, you know where they are. You can pick one of those, add it to your character sheet. But it will take you the whole round to search and sort that out. Okay.
I'm going to do a makeshift weapon while they do that, just in case they get in.
Okay. So this...
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Chris. Go on.
So what I want to make is basically I'm going to use the sledgehammer that's got a thing on the end of it, with the power tool and possibly some electrical wiring.
You don't need electrical wiring; it's battery operated.
No, the electric wiring is to make is part of the weapon itself.
Oh right, okay.
It's going to be live wired.
Okay.
So a live wired sledgehammer, basically.
Okay, that's going to take you quite some time. So it's going to be all of this round at the very least, and probably longer.
I
So
understand. It's just,
Can I
get
just
that up Dead Rising?
Can I
it's
just
a big weapon.
Can I just point this out though?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you actually attach the live to the metal head of the hammer, and then you hit something with it and it shorts, you're just going to put out all the lights and power.
Yeah.
I
The
thought
break
you
is
said it was battery packed.
Yeah.
the power tools are like power drills.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're all battery powered. They're not.
Yeah. So what do you mean by live wired? I don't understand that.
Well, when I hit the trigger, it goes spark.
Right.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
Are you absolutely certain, in a garage full of petrol fumes, that you want a weapon that sparks? I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah,
Bearing in
there
mind
is.
I'm
I
married
have
to
one.
DM
I
and
have.
know
I
how
currently
this thing
have.
works.
I currently have one fear. I'm worried about my girlfriend. I'm not thinking straight.
Okay, that's
And
fine.
I
This
am-
is going to be
I am-
fun.
Because my persona is to do things first and think afterwards. I'm headstrong. I'm very headstrong.
Yeah. So
I'm not going to be
okay.
thinking
Yeah,
about
okay.
fumes.
yeah. Okay. So yes, that is actually the sort of daft thing your character does do under stressful circumstances. So yes, I'm going to allow it. So this creature here has gotten up and is going to make its way around the fire. However, it started off in the flames. So, Mark, would you like to roll 1d6 damage for this creature, please? 4 more damage. Right, I'll do that in a second. 2, 3, 4.
I mean, if someone sees me making it, obviously they might be able to say, well, "That's a bad idea."
Okay.
Yeah.
Minus
I think if any of us
3
notice, we'll be like, don't.
Okay, so this one is advancing. It is Sean to go next.
Am I still working on the car?
Yes, unless you want to break off to help with the fight. If you want to just keep working on the car so you can hopefully get away before things get too nasty, you can do that instead. It's up to you.
I will currently continue with the car.
Okay. You're going to spend the round getting on with working on the car. I'm going to make a note here that that's 1 round less the car needs. Lizzie, what's she going to do?
I'm going to use that landline to phone my sister, who just stays round the corner,
Right.
and say to her, there's alien creatures all over Newcastle. They're coming out the undergrounds. I know I sound mental. I haven't been on drugs.
Okay. Make
Stay in the house.
make a 3D
Stay in the house.
make a 3d6 roll to see if you can get through to her on the landline. I take it you're ringing your own landline.
Yeah.
Okay. 10. That's because it's landline to landline. That's a pass. So you managed to get through to her, and yeah, you say all those things, and she's like, "Lizzie, man, what are you talking about? Have you been drinking? Did you win? Did you win again? You always go on a bender when you win."
No. Look out the window. Look up the street, up towards that garage up the top, the one that gets the dodgy cars in. You know the one.
I know the one you mean. Aye.
Aye.
Dodgy
outside.
Tom's nicked car emporium. Aye.
That wee glass guy that you always see at the matches, he's always taking cars up there.
God, not him.
No saying nothing. Sorry, mate, I know you're fixing that car and all that, but you know, that guy's dodgy. Ricky, honest, look at the window. There's a fire outside that garage. That wee Glasgow Ed just chucked a Molotov at a bunch of things that have got tentacles and heads that are walking on the land. I don't even know what's happening.
Okay, you can't actually see from there because the star and shadow and whatnot's in the way a little bit. However, make a perception. Sorry, I don't mean perception. Communication persuasion roll, please.
I'm just finding my character sheet. Sorry.
I'm going to make it relatively easy, so a target number of 11, and that is actually a pass with stunts, so you have your sister convinced. She's like, I'll be there in 5 minutes, I'm just going to get my chainsaw.
Don't go out, right? Don't go out. We'll come and get you. We'll come and get you.
Do you not need help? I
It'll be like, bring the chainsaw, bring the axe, bring all that, but right, what I'll do is when we're outside, we'll beep the horn, like that Shaun of the Dead film, you know, where they go and they pick everybody up and then they go to the pub for a pint.
All
Aye,
right.
like that.
I know the one you
Aye.
mean. You're coming to get me, Barbara.
Yeah, aye. We're coming to get you, Barbara. Aye.
Right. Just a quick question.
Yes, go ahead.
Do I need to make a roll on the car?
You will do. Yeah, in fact, you can make one each round it comes round. So make a roll for this round, because if you get stunts, we can speed it up a bit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You didn't, but you got a very good roll, so that's definitely definitely one tick on the time.
So it's not like an advanced task then.
Actually, why don't we do it as an advanced task? That would be interesting. Let's do that. That'll give you 6 points in the pool. Okay, so I've got a number in mind that we'll go for. So you're 6 points towards having the car fixed out. You reckon you can probably, if they can hold out for another couple of minutes, you can get this done. You're pretty sure. So one of the other men of war, it's the toasty one. So that's gonna sit there and sputter and crackle. You see it, like 2 of its 6 eyes just pop.
Oh.
Goes the eye.
Yeah, you're all going, ugh, and Rab's like, yeah, I did that, man. Look at that, Lizzie, look at that. Right, Erin, what would you like to do?
Right, well, I'm going to run up here to see what the hell's going on, because I'm not actually sure.
You were next to a window. I can just open the window crack for you if you want.
The shutters will be down on the windows though.
Yeah, but the control for the shutters will be on her side. So I can...
All right, yeah, she could crank it up, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'll probably want to move.
Okay, you want to move?
over
That's
anyway,
that's
'cause
fine.
Rab, he has left some Molotovs.
He has left some Molotovs, yes. There are still another 5 left, I think, yes?
No,
4.
he's carrying
4,
one.
because I've got one.
That's right, 4.
4 on the floor.
4 on the floor.
Well, this is about as far as I can get.
Right.
Would I, if I picked one up, would I be able to throw it?
I'm going to let you
Would it
move
reach
and pick one up as a minor action.
this one?
I will let you throw it as a major action. The problem is, it's not lit. It would be another minor action to light it. So your options are use your
Okay.
second action to light it, and then you'll have a lit Molotov in your hand that you can throw next round, or throw it and cover it, the thing in petrol and hope somebody else can set it off.
I'll just light it.
Okay. So you've got a lit Molotov in your hand. Let's bear that in mind in case you're knocked unconscious.
Yes.
Okay, so you grab one of the Molotovs off the ground and light it. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? So it's another one of the creatures which is going to stand up. It's in the flames at the moment. So Mark, roll another d6 damage for this creature. And that's 3 more damage. Poof. Okay, so oh shit, I've just changed the wrong one. Right, so plus that, and I'll more correctly take it off there. There we go. So this one manages to make it out of the flames. Okay, and from there that's its first movement. It's then going to charge, and it can charge to here. So it charges down there, still like bits of fire on it here and there, mostly just sparks now, and it's whipping its tentacles around. It's going to attack the guy that chucked the petrol bomb. Actually, it's not going to attack the guy that chucked the petrol bomb at it. It's going to attack the woman who has a petrol bomb. Just in case she chucks it as well. So it is going to acid spit you.
Oh,
And it
great.
didn't actually aim, but it did charge. So 11, does that hit you?
My defense is 11.
So it's a hit, I'm afraid. So this thing, it runs up, its
Yeah.
tentacles flailing, it looks at you and goes, and this globule of green sputum hits you. You can feel it like the caustic on your arm. It's really quite painful. And that is... don't tell me the rolls
Can
have
I
stopped
shout
again.
something? Chibbit hen, chibbit. Chibbit
Okay,
with a bottle.
you remember the problem that Roll20's been having all day?
Mm-hmm.
That the dice rolls won't roll.
Right.
It started again.
I can see a 2 and a 4.
Oh,
You can
no.
see them.
Yeah, I can see
Ah,
them.
Yeah.
right.
I can see
First
a 2 and a 4.
Yeah.
First one was a 2.
Okay, 2 points of damage then, please.
Yeah.
If you take 2 points of
Toughness.
damage, your toughness
Okay.
will reduce that. It's an
Okay,
impact.
so that's 1 then. Okay.
1 point, okay. So it's 1 point of damage, so you've got like an acid burn on your arm. It's painful, it will heal, but it might scar in the long run, you don't know. It's not actually done a great
Okay.
job there. Okay, so
Minimum damage.
it is the next creature to go, and it is also starting in the fire. So Mark, would you like to roll a d6 damage for it, please?
6.
Honestly, it's not going to take... Oh, you shit, man.
It was.
Oh, actually, I saw that. That's come up.
Oh, you
My
did?
dice rolls aren't shown, but yours are. Okay, so yeah, 6 points of damage, so you've killed that one and all. So as that one stands up and well, it was already on its feet. As that one starts moving through the fire, you can see this burning creature comes bursting out of the flames, flopping across the car park towards you. Its tentacles flailing as it's going to attack, and then its tentacles, the ones it's walking on, just go out from under it, and it just collapses on the ground and crackles and burns away into a puddle of alien monstrosity. Rab to go. So, Mark, what would you like to do?
Well, because this one's got a bit close, I'm not going to use a Molotov.
Probably best
I'm
not
going
to.
to use the handy sledgehammer.
Right, make a swing for it with a sledgehammer then. Target number is 11. You're going to need to hit it. And you did, and you scored 2 stunts.
2 seconds, I just get kicked out of the game.
No problem.
I know.
Can I just say, it seems as if your secret weapon is one wee glass grenade.
It really does, doesn't it?
Rolls really well.
At this point, the alien horde are going to turn back, going, sir, I can't go up there, there's 2 of them.
Here's a trap.
It's a trap, there's 2 of them.
I'll actually use Vicious Blow.
Oh, for God's sake. Right, okay, go on.
Oh no.
Oh, dear me. Okay.
He's going to use Glaswegian Kiss on it.
If you've rolled the damage, it's not shown, so you'll have to tell me.
No, I've not rolled it yet. I had
right,
to
okay.
bring up my character sheet again.
Okay, no problem.
I am about to roll it now. What is going on, Ted? They won't let me back onto the chat.
What, sorry?
Oh.
They won't let me back onto the chat.
That's the problem we were having earlier. This is what Roll20's been doing all day. The The chat's balked.
Mhm.
Now, the only way to fix it is to clear the entire chat log from outside the game. So I'm going to have to log...
I've just refreshed and it's fine for me.
Have you really? Okay,
Yeah.
let me just try that.
Yeah, it looks like Rab's back in the room, but I don't know if
Yeah.
Mark managed to get back on.
Yeah.
I'm just refreshing myself and see if that helps.
Oh, there you go, 14.
Oh,
He's
there you
rolled.
go.
14 points of
14 come
damage.
out.
Yes, 14 points of damage. Okay.
Jesus.
3d6 plus 6.
Describe to me the brutal death you unleash upon this alien monstrosity.
He shouts 4 and like swings like a golf club and it cleaves it under the chin and it actually goes flying through the air.
That's all sounding very English.
Yeah.
And eagles.
As it makes its way towards Erin, I'm just going to step out with an overhead swing
Uh-huh.
and shout, "Get it in you bam!" and then just repeatedly pound it with the sledgehammer until it's mush on the ground.
Okay, you step out, yelling at it, you smack it right in the face. It kind of staggers backwards. Its tentacles, the ones it's standing on, kind of sag slightly and just drops it down to about your head height. So you whack it in the face again. It teeters about, you whack it a third time. It crashes to what would be its knees if those were legs it was standing on. You hit it again and again and again. There's gore and blood, alien blood splashing up you, spraying across Erin, up the walls. Finally, the thing's twitching legs stop flailing and it just dies. What's left of it is just a lump of unrecognizable alien splat. It's probably the best way to
And
describe
then
it.
as it dies, I'll just turn around and grin at Erin and go, "That was fucking meant it, wasn't it?"
Can I just point out, Brian, that when we wrote Pandora's Wake, at no point did we consider that the city from which I originate, that its denizens might actually be the people that saw off the entire alien invasion.
Indeed,
I
but
should be ashamed.
but that seems to be how it's going. So, Adam Tyler, that's Chris. So, could I have a tinkering roll?
I didn't
from...
realise a sledgehammer does 3d6.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't. Does 2
2d6. Yeah.
plus 3.
Oh, you rolled 3, okay.
But he rolled extra
Is that for
because
the
of his
stunts?
stunts.
Oh yeah, you
Because
get the
of the
extra
stunts.
1d. Yeah, I
Yeah,
understand.
he said he was doing.
plus strength.
Is my makeshift tool ready?
Make a tinkering roll, and I'll tell you.
And what is that?
That would be
Intelligence.
intelligence tinkering. If you don't have tinkering, just straight intelligence will do. Oh dear. Right.
Can I roll to see if I've come to my senses about this? Might be a bad idea. Like
Yeah,
intelligence
make an
or
intelligence roll. Yeah.
Okay. No, it's still a bad. I still don't know if it's a bad idea.
Yeah, you still don't know it's a bad idea, but what you've essentially
Oh, well.
created is a weapon that, because it's powered from the battery pack of one of the tools, it's just not giving it enough power to do much. But like, do you remember when you were a kid and you used to put a 9-volt battery on your tongue?
Right.
That's the tingling sensation that it
Yeah.
gives.
No, not everybody's strange like you, Brian.
Everybody did it. Don't start.
Okay.
Okay, so that's going to be your round because you've been tinkering with it for. It takes a while to create the kind of, or would have taken a while, although you've not successfully
You're all dead
managed
by
to
any
do it.
time I get it made.
Probably at this rate, yep. So let me see which one is attacking next. Don't worry, there are plenty more where that came from. Or, to phrase it another way, which I'm sure Marie will enjoy, do not worry, little brother. There are more. This one is now ambling across. Actually, it's going to charge, so it's going to use its minor action to run across the thing. 1, 2, 3.
Not in the fire, is it?
5. No, this one isn't. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Is that the last one standing?
It'll come a little bit. It is actually high. It'll come a little bit closer. Sorry, it'll not go the
Yeah.
full distance because it's going to take off at the charge when it's about here and come racing in, and it's going to try and throttle you with its tentacles.
Fuck's sake.
You seem to be the
great.
threat because you have one of those Bernie Bottley things that you lobbed at its mates earlier. So you're the one that's going to try and kill before you get a chance to. The problem is, if he can knock you down, even, there is a risk that petrol bomb might go off at your feet. So let's find out if he can. Just need to pan down again because when I had to reboot,
Look at roll to 111.
it might. Okay, let me have a look. It's tentacle attack, and I've ticked for aim, but that's actually going to be a charge bonus rather than an aim bonus.
Yeah, 3's not bad.
That's 13. That's a hit with 1 stunt point, so it's going to knock you prone. So, what you're going to have to do is, first of all, you're going to take some damage from being thwacked by the tentacle. This is wounding damage. It's impact, so your toughness will work. 3 points of damage. Okay, so you've taken 3 points of damage as it whacks you across the face, and then you stagger to the ground. Make a dexterity check to try and dexterity, acrobatics or agility, to try and hold on to the petrol bomb. Otherwise, it's gonna. Lucky for you, you managed to not drop the petrol bomb. So you go down and kind of juggle the petrol bomb. As you let go of it, you're like, "Oh no, shit!" and grab it, and then it slips out of your hands, and you grab it again. And I've burned my hand. But you hold on to it. It doesn't break. It doesn't go off right at your feet. You'll be pleased to hear. So next up, it will be Sean.
Good.
A quick question.
Yes.
This is the first time my character's seen a Man of War.
Right.
I can now see it.
Okay, I'm going to need a fear test from you then. And we'll do that when it comes around to your go again. Sean, what are you doing?
Fixing the car.
Fixing the car. Make another roll for me then, please. And that's a pass with another 3 stunt points. So you've now got 9 in the pool. You reckon it's not going to take you very much longer. You've dropped your estimate from a couple of minutes to like just a few seconds more and I can get this done. Lizzie, what would you like to do?
Okay, seeing as how that thing's attacking Erin, I'm going to take a running charge at it. You know the kind of the parkour type run where I'm going to and I'm going to try and kick it.
Right, you are. You run across the ground at it and take off with your. You spring up at it and kind of flip yourself around, so you're almost cartwheeling and you hit it boom, boom, with 2 feet, or at least you hope you hit it. Roll and see. You only get 1 attack, but for a narrative purpose, we'll go right. So your trainers hit it in the bang under the jaw, bang. The next one hits it in the face. Roll the damage.
It's not. I don't do a great deal of damage.
You don't. But you did do 4, so 2 of that gets past its armour and its toughness. It is only stun damage, of course, but nonetheless, it is kind of reeling backwards from the impact. That was 1 action, because that was a charge attack. So you still have a minor action if you would like to take a minor action.
I'll try some kind of upper body strike, like maybe not punching it but hitting it with the heel of my hand, something like that.
Unfortunately, that would be an attack, which is a major action. You've only got a minor one.
So, could I try and help Erin up?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
So Erin, next round you'll be on your feet without losing half of your speed, because Lizzie's used her action to get you on your feet. In fact, it's you to go now. So I'll just take that marker off.
Okay.
What would you like to do, Jenny?
Right. Well,
Chip it.
I can't
Hit
use
it with a
this
bottle hen.
bloody Molotov, can I? So
Not at
Can you-
point blank, no.
No.
I know, but it's lit though, isn't it? So I'd have to.
It is lit, and you don't want to hold on to a lit Molotov for too long.
No, chuck it.
No.
Chuck it as far as you can.
Yeah, it's like the holy hand
I'm
grenade
gonna
with
have
hand
to.
tail.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to chuck it
Okay.
over here
Quick
as close
question.
as I can.
Yes,
to
go ahead,
over here.
Sean.
Yeah. Is it possible to actually throw it behind it so the actual flames get to it, but not any further?
It's
No, we
possible,
take
but it's
damage.
dangerous.
So
Because
if
you would
I
have to
throw-
get an exact hit at the right
It's a bit
place, otherwise.
dangerous, yeah. I wouldn't want to risk it.
Yeah.
Okay.
throw it as far away as you can.
Okay, she's just going to throw it away. Just roll,
Yeah, so I'm just gonna
roll
try.
the hit and don't get triple ones.
Oh, you had to say it, didn't you?
I did, didn't I? This is a house rule, if anybody's wondering about the triple ones.
What do I actually roll?
Sorry, it would be
Accuracy.
accuracy.
What do I actually roll then? Because I don't
Accuracy.
have.
Just roll accuracy.
Dexterity.
No, accuracy.
Right. Okay. That wasn't very good.
But
As
I
long
take
as-
it she would.
As long as it's
Thrown it
not 3 ones, you're fine. Right? You've lobbed it over the top of it, and it's gone off back here somewhere. It's another big blast of
Okay.
fire. It's cooking the other dead alien creature. I don't know if you've come up with a name for these things yet. They kind of remind you of both Portuguese men of war and of rays with long sort of tentacles out at the bottom.
Can I put forward a suggestion that we call these ones ball bags?
Say war rays.
Meanwhile, we've got warriors.
Can
Yeah.
I?
Can you what?
Because I've still got movement, haven't I?
Yes, you
Because I
have.
was
Yeah,
half
yeah. You've
up.
still got a minor action. You can still do movement up to your speed.
Right, because I'm gonna retreat because I am hurt, and I think it's probably there's not much I can do at the minute.
Okay.
so-
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so you're retreating backwards. I'm just going to check and see what the crack is with Ben's character, who's pedaling away as fast as he can down towards this this area.
It's dead rising. He's been to the shop, bought himself, stolen some leather chaps, flip flops, and he's on the little girl's bicycle,
Yeah.
pedaling as fast as he can.
Ben, could I have a dexterity stealth roll from you, please, so that you don't look too suspicious?
Being suspicious is not my concern. It's just not getting 8.
Uh,
But of course,
You
yeah.
don't get a poocher.
And let me
He's
see.
probably
Is
got
that
run
a-
flats on that
Is
bike.
that a pass?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're like pedaling away. You do kind of look suspicious, but then you see a police car come around the corner, and you're like, you manage to look a bit less suspicious. And although the officers look out the window as you're pedaling past, they just think that's just somebody trying to get out of Dodge while all this chaos is happening, and they ignore you and carry on. You like pedal away. As soon as you round the corner, you're like, oh, I'm glad I didn't notice the fucking baseball bat I've just nicked.
What,
Or
the
the bow.
baseball bat,
Or the bow.
compound bow, all the arrows,
Yeah,
and
the
the
bow.
cricket bats.
You mean that they're in that sports bag that are on your back?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so that's section 1. Metro apologises. Where the hell has
how
part
close
2
am I?
fucked off to?
How close am I to getting to these guys?
Couple of minutes away, you reckon?
You can see the fires.
I'll flip the nitrous switch and I'll be there in a couple seconds.
Right, you are. So, okay, not with that one. Right, so you kind of. Okay. Ben, as you come around the next corner, you can see a panicking crowd rushing up the street towards you. They're kind of coming up. You're kind of trying to cross, not Granger Street. You're trying to go from Gray's Monument, up onto Thingy Street. I've just forgotten the name of it. We were on it earlier. When you see this crowd kind of running towards you from the south towards Gateshead, You look round and you can see some more of these alien creatures are following the crowd. The crowd, as it comes up that street, starts to disperse up all the various side streets. The creatures looking around like, which ones do we go for? And they split up as well, so you've got like several that go off in different directions. Let's find out if one spots you. Make another...
Hiding.
Yes.
Can I, if I fill this one, can I do my scouting
You
again?
can because of your scouting, that's right, yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. You don't want to do another roll. That's good.
Yeah. Okay, so you immediately kind of, you think, I was going to go up there and across, but if I go straight up this side alley and then spin round and go that way, I can cut them off. It's a slightly longer route to get where I'm going, but the creatures will not see me on it. So you take...
Hang on, could I use my stump point?
Yeah, go ahead.
For anything, because I feel like there's ones to just do things faster.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The general exploration, there it is. Oh right, I've already looked at this one. Is there any other? Can I just do it faster?
Yes, I'll narrate this bit because I've got an idea. Right. Instead of doing what you were going to do, which is turn up on a pedestrianised street, go along by the central library and across the pedestrianised things, you realise if you go that way, these creatures are going to spot you. So you pedal as fast as you can, you go straight over at the road. Fairly confident that everybody, like most people, are off the streets now. There's not so many cars around. You're pedaling across really fast. You've come up with what's actually probably a really stupid idea. You realise at the last minute as you take off just past the blue carpet, straight off over the side of the motorway, which is a good 20 feet down, you reckon? But you've seen people do this on this type of bike before, mountain bike before. And as you're dropping, you think, actually, I think I'm going to break me back. You hit really hard, it bounces, your pain shoots up your coccyx. You think, I might have just sat on my own spuds. But nonetheless, you make it across the motorway and you're pedalling off down past Manors, where you can see there's another group of armed response team are now behind cars, opening fire on some of these creatures as they try to get out of Manors. You just hurtle past them. You reckon you're now, because you've not managed to knock about a quarter of a mile off the route by like hurting yourself a wee bit. Not enough to actually do damage, but enough to, like, you really wish you hadn't come down quite so hard on your own bollocks. But you will recover from that. There's tears in your eyes from the shock of it. You reckon you're going to be where the others are in about a minute, tops?
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
Okay, so meanwhile, round 3 of the combat, and it's Rab to go again.
Oh god. He's gonna finish off.
Kick its head on, wee man!
So, Mark, what would Rab like to do?
Right, well, the one that's attacking Lizzie,
Yeah.
I'm going to step forward and jab it.
Right, okay, go for it. Because it's now outnumbered, because it's been attacked by Lizzie as well, you get +1 to hit, so that is actually 13, that's a hit. Go ahead and roll the damage. Fucking hell!
But he gets a +6 for the sledgehammer.
Oh my god, giddy aunt. Right, okay. She come up behind it, you smack right on the back of the... I don't know, is that a skull? You're not quite sure. You put a massive dent in the fleshy protuberance out the back of this creature. It's kind of staggering about, dazed. It's in an extremely bad way. You felt something you think probably quite important break under the impact of the sledgehammer. It's in a very bad way, but it ain't dead. You have a minor action left if you would like to retreat or take cover or whatever.
I'm going to step back again.
Okay. You step back, and it is Chris. It's you to go. This weapon doesn't work the way you wanted it to, but you can still whack something with it. You're pretty sure.
Well, I was going to say, from what's going on and how long it took, I'm going to say I will give up on this project.
Right. Okay.
To either charge the creature. Actually, Rab's just moved out of the way, so I can do that. Or see if Erin's okay. I'm gonna charge the creature. I am just enough.
Okay. Go for it.
With not that weapon, but with the makeshift baseball bat.
Okay. Right. Okay. You just take off at the run, drop the thing you were fannying on with, and take the baseball bat, swinging it above your head as you come, screaming and charging across the floor of the cracked concrete floor of the work shop.
Please don't miss.
Yeah. Move your character and roll to hit.
Very hard for me to miss.
Yeah, that's very much not a miss. That's a hit.
And then damage.
Yeah, I'll just move your guy for you since.
Not much damage with the baseball bat because it's not my staff.
Yeah. So you come running over and taking your lead from where Rab hit it, because there seems to be like cracks and bleeding. You take the baseball bat and whack right across the back of the head with the baseball bat. The thing goes down. It's on its knees. You go wham up the side of the head with the baseball bat a third time. And as it collapses to the ground, just for good measure, you whack across the front of its face with the baseball bat, reducing it the same kind of bloody mess Rab did with the other one earlier.
Let's see if I panic, because it's the first time I've seen one.
It is indeed. So go ahead and make a fear test for me, please.
Which one is it?
It is willpower, self-discipline, or courage. 16? No, you're fine. The adrenaline of the fight and the fact that whatever this alien monster is, you've just killed it. You and Rab together, you can take these things, you're pretty sure. These aliens don't know what's hit them.
I like the explosions.
Yeah, you like the explosions as well. Right, so that's the last of the creatures down. You can now hear gunshots from further up near Mana's metro station.
Sorry guys, I was faffing about. I should have come earlier.
You also see a very panicked guy in a suit come like hurtling round the corner on a bike.
Straight through the fire.
Fire, Joe!
So I'll just go to Games Master's lair and I'll drop you.
At which point
Yep.
I would suggest once he gets inside, we close the shutter.
Yeah.
That seems like a very good idea. So Ben, you've made it there. You've arrived. Yep.
Because my dad and brother were on the way, so would
Yes.
they have arrived yet?
They have
Okay.
not arrived, but they'll not be. In fact, yeah, they'll be coming around the corner about now. They come hurtling around the corner in the car and like handbrake turn it to a stop. I should probably have another car, shouldn't I? I need another car now, don't I? Give me a second till I dig one out of the assets then.
Yeah, well, I'll come over and tell them to get inside.
That's a funny way of spelling car.
Get the stuff
Let's
out of the
try that
car. Get inside.
Everybody should help with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see two people get out of this car. You have no idea who they are, but they look like vaguely like Erin, and she seems to know them. One's looking around going, would have been here sooner, but we had to slam the brakes on the motorway. This fucking idiot on a bike. That's him there!
Oh,
Fucking
yeah.
mate, honestly,
there
what
room
were you
for them to
thinking?
get the car inside?
Yes, there is, if it's going to be that size.
All right, okay.
They'll say that, and I'll be like, I think I popped me plums.
Yeah,
So you're not a bowler anymore, you're a flatter.
that's on the wrong layer. Let me just drop that under the token layer. There you go.
There's a fridge and
I'll tell
ice.
them to drive in then.
So, okay, they will drive in once everybody's out of the way. If you would all like to move out of the way, so the car.
This is for the drive over the remnants of aliens.
That's literally what's going to happen. Yeah.
You're gonna get goo on your tyres, mate.
Splash, sploot.
Yeah. Ugh.
We'll kind of carefully drive in around the
Yeah, can we move the other car over slightly?
this one. Yeah,
Yeah, just so that they're both sort of.
yeah.
And we'll
Oh,
get the
that was
shot.
covering a hole. That was covering a hole, right?
It's actually just a patch of oil. It's a patch of oil rather than a hole.
Oh, you haven't fixed the oil properly.
He hasn't
Get
fixed
the-
that one yet, I don't think. No, he's been busy on this one. That was. Oh no, yeah.
I've done the
The
tyres.
oil's not from that car. It's from an earlier one. He just hasn't mopped it up. That's all.
Oh, is that what he's telling people?
That's what he's telling people, Harry. At least he didn't take the one where the brakes don't work.
That's true.
Yeah,
That
that,
one.
it was. I can't remember. It's one of them.
It's the green one.
Green one, I think. The mini.
Yeah, that's no good.
No, it's not really. It's not great, is it? Okay.
We're not robbing banks in Italy, so
No. Funnily enough,
I
that's.
want to
Yeah,
ask
go ahead.
if there's. I want to try and wash this stuff off my arm and ask if he's. If
yeah, there's a
if
bathroom
there's
over to the beside
Okay.
the office.
There is, but actually, you've in your first aid kit, you have stuff that's deliberately intended
bottle.
for
yeah, there'll be
for
the wash
caustic
bottle on
burns, because a lot of the stuff you use is
Okay.
caustic. So, would somebody like to do a first aid roll on Lizzie, please? Not on Lizzie, on Erin, please.
I can if you would like.
Yeah, go for it.
I assume you would.
so he's
I
all
would
hot and
say-
sweaty.
I would like a sample of that, please.
It's mostly just
Why-
that where it's burned off flesh now. But yeah,
Would
go
I,
on. I'm going to allow
am I still scared?
Actually,
have
no,
obviously
because I
been
said
running
everybody
through
could
Newcastle
take
like a
a point of fear off earlier.
But at that point I was, running around Newcastle like a maniac.
That's true. So I'm going to say you are. However, you've scored an 11 and that's all you needed.
Okay, that's fine.
So, let us just...
There's
Yeah, go ahead.
goo. Sorry, I was just going to say there's goo on my dad's car on the
There is-
wheels.
Dead
so you
aliens,
could
but-
maybe
There
take
is, yeah. So Chris,
I'm not saying
make,
it was aliens.
somebody's good in the back seat.
Chris, make a note that you have a sample of manowar acid.
Might not know much about them, but I might know someone.
Yeah, exactly. And I've forgotten his bloody name now. Joe. Yeah, sorry. Joe takes the first aid kit. He notices inside it's got a wash bottle. It's got stuff that's designed for caustic burns, which is not unexpected in a garage. So he cleans the area up. He washes off the acid. He applies the stuff for the caustic burns. He puts a dressing over it. And what's your intelligence, Ben? Is it 1?
Yeah.
It is one.
And your level's 1, and you roll 2 on your stunt dice. That's 4 points. Erin gets back.
Okay.
You see, I told you I was
Thank you.
good with my hands.
Oh my god.
Does how many separate wounds had Erin suffered?
That was the second wound.
It was
because
a spit in the
first one-
tentacle.
Spit in the
The
tentacle.
first-
You want me to? I'll
yeah.
happily roll for the tentacle as well, which is
Yeah.
like a bruise on her side.
Yeah, it's up the side of her face where it whacked her across the head. So yeah, give it a roll.
A little better
Yep,
in
that's
terms of roll.
yeah, that's not bad. So you get another 3 hit points, but health points back.
Oh, brilliant. Well, I'm up to full now then.
Cool. Is there anybody else injured that needs any further assistance?
No.
I think we should wash that stuff off those car tyres as well in case it eats
Yeah,
through
there's
them.
a hose. There's a hose for doing that over there.
Aye.
There is.
We'll
Yeah.
get on with that then.
So you spray the stuff off your dad's car tyres.
And then you can use the broom to brush it into the drain.
Yes.
You know what would actually be a good idea?
Mhm.
I know Chris has got a sample of the acid. If we could find out what kind of acid it is. Some kinds of acids can't eat some kinds of plastic
That's
and all
very
that.
true.
Then you could cover yourself in that kind of plastic, and then all of a sudden the acid's not going to burn through you. It'll just slide off the acid like water.
Mhm.
Off the plastic, not acid.
Yeah. So we need some wrap ourselves in glass.
No, like some kinds of plastic, man.
I know somewhere where we could get PPI.
PPI.
obviously, I
Why
don't
do we
know.
want payment
Is it
protection
PPI?
insurance?
What is it? Sorry, the other one.
PPE.
PTFE.
PPE. Sorry.
PPE.
No,
Yeah,
PT.
Yeah, that's it.
No. If you want a seal against acid corrosion that's made out of a flexible material, you need some PTFE material.
All right. No, I was just thinking of personal protection equipment.
Yeah.
What you mean, like a cloth mask?
No, personal
Actually,
protection equipment covers
Yeah,
a wide
PPE
range of
thing.
stuff.
A
It would
range
need to
of
be a bit
stuff.
better than that.
Yeah.
yeah.
The hospital, the way we were at, they would have some.
They probably
I mean,
might,
someone went to the
yes.
hospital.
I would have some at my work because of certain.
Yes, you definitely would. The Life
Biochemistry,
Centre
no.
will definitely have the kind of stuff you're
Actually,
looking for.
Wouldn't there be like welding masks here that could act
Yes,
as
there's
Yes.
a
armor?
welding mask.
Yes, as
Yeah.
well, mask.
That's something
But
worth
that'll just
taking.
be like a blue plate in a big green.
What's the plan, guys? We're stuck in a garage.
Okay, well, first thing I noticed that Elizabeth, you still have injuries. Do you need any first aid?
Yeah, I'm probably now we're relatively safe. I'll because that's from when I was attacked on the underground.
Yes. So, who would like to make a first aid roll for Lizzie?
Well,
I'm just going to move you
I
all a
think
bit more
I think I'm
centrally.
the only one with medicine, so
yeah.
Well, anybody can make a first aid roll, but if you've got medicine, obviously you get to add that focus.
that wasn't as good.
That
And
was a
you
fail.
failed. It was a fail. Yeah.
I'll
So
try.
you take a look. There's not a great deal you can do for the bruising. You're like, that's kind of just going to have to heal itself. But Chris also takes a look. Outside of Adam takes a look. Because you work in a gym, you're used to the kind of muscle injuries and bruising that Lizzie's got. You think you can probably do something with it.
He gets out a set of glasses.
Well,
and
me
a camera.
MMA would have told me different ways to heal that don't require regular medicine.
That's right. You're like, what we need is something cold, like an ice pack or something, and a little bit of massage here will help that tear to the muscle there. And, you're looking around for something cold, and we've got nothing cold. And Erin's dad goes, well, actually that's not true because Erin said bring food, so I've got this. He opens the back and he's got one of those big plastic, like camping picnic boxes.
Boxes. Yeah,
Aye,
with the ice packs in.
with the ice packs in, and he's packed for a picnic is what he's packed for, rather than
Right.
like a typical
Nice one,
dad.
Dad.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, I actually have a insulated backpack picnic thing
Yeah.
with ice packs.
So,
My
Marie,
house.
you get 5 plus Adam's intelligence of 3, 5, 6, 8. Plus his level, that's 9 health back. You only lost 6, so you can put yourself back to full.
Right.
I'll
meantime-
say to Lizzie, my time to have your back. Thanks for your fall.
Yep. Yes, in the meantime, Sean, you were
No
going to
worries,
say.
big man.
Let's see if we can get this car.
Indeed so. Give me another roll. You're not far off fixing it now. And that's the 3 more in the pool. That takes you up to 12. And you only needed 11 to get it fixed. So you managed to get the starter motor, wasn't it? You managed to get the starter motor refitted and just turn it over. There you go. You drive the car down. Well, first of all, you bring the... you get out from under it and you bring the car back down. And then
Yay.
drive it
my
off.
car's
Yeah,
fixed.
your
Is it
car's
just-
fixed. So you've got a bunch of cars now.
So we've got 3 cars.
Yeah.
I will tell everyone that like the army or the police do seem to
Armed
be
response
taking
team.
the streets back.
They do. So what you can pick up from your phones and the radio and stuff, as well as that the terrorist incident is now under control in central Newcastle, according to the news. Aha.
For now.
For
Is this the Tory government now?
But they are also suggesting that people remain indoors. Don't touch the walls. Don't mention the event. No, sorry. A lot of people are not going to get that joke. If you didn't used to watch
No.
that particular comedy show, you won't get that joke. I'll put a link up to it later. Okay, so they are suggesting people remain indoors. More police are being drafted in. All leave has been cancelled. the city is going to be shut down temporarily until... These are extreme measures. I mean, Newcastle's had terrorist attacks in the past. During the Troubles, for example, there was bomb went... it didn't go off, but there were bombs placed in Newcastle and found in time. And they didn't do what they're doing now. So if you didn't already know that the terrorist attack was a cover story, you'd be suspicious about it by now. So
All of this, you know, and like Mackey's would still be open.
probably.
They never
Joe,
close.
Joe, what you got in the bag?
Show you. Just dump the bag on the floor and you can see.
Right.
You know, there's probably a queue of them tentacly wee things outside the McDonald's takeaway window, you know.
There probably is. Okay, so he managed to grab...
I want to eat your manager. It's Karen Alien.
Yeah, yes. So he managed to grab a baseball bat, which I think he's keeping for yourself, did you say, Ben?
Yeah, I'll keep the baseball bat. You guys can have a cricket bat or a hammer.
Yeah.
That's the other melee weapons I've got. Obviously, the bow and arrows are for myself.
Bow and arrows for you because you're trained with it. This guy's just more and more surprising all the time. And did you pick up the various bits of, like...
Cash, yes.
Well, cash, yeah. I meant the armour, actually. You were going to pick up...
If you'll allow me to, I'll get some armour.
Okay, so...
But I didn't specifically do it at the time.
Okay, he's got a real mishmash of sports armour. So he's got like a cricket a box, some pads. He's got American football helmet, and some of the body armour from American football kit. And he's got like skaters' elbow pads and wrist braces. So put together, it would look fucking ridiculous, and it would damage your dexterity, but it would be minor armor. It wouldn't stop ballistic attacks, but it would stop. Oh well, it would reduce the kind of damage that these creatures have been doing, which is impact damage. If anybody wanted to wear it.
It's open for grabs.
Only
I'm not
got
one to damage my deck.
Only got enough for one person though. If anybody wants it.
I'd say maybe Rab. He seems to be very hands-on.
Yeah, it does seem a little bit on the hands-on sort of
Go
side.
on, Rab, you already look ridiculous in your trackies.
Well, tell you what, I'll tell you what the stats are, right?
Yeah, mate, watch it, right?
I'll tell you what the stats are and then you can decide. Okay, so, armour. Piss poor armour is what we're looking for, isn't it? Yeah. We have piss poor armour. Yeah. It does. It has an armour rating of 1 impact or 0 ballistic, and it does no penalty to your dexterity.
Oh, really? It doesn't do anything?
Nope. It's sports armour.
Well, the thing is, it may not do damage to dexterity, but surely it would do damage to your stealth because it would look ridiculous and people would go, "What the fuck's that?"
It's that,
Absolutely, yeah. I couldn't really look
It
inconspicuous.
will. No,
with
you
that
couldn't
on.
look inconspicuous dressed like that. You will attract attention. Yeah. So anyway, you do have a suit of mishmashed sports armour if you need it for the future. For now, you can just wang it in the back of one of the cars. I assume you're going to put the bike he's nicked in one of the cars as well, yeah?
We're not got a roof rack in here anyway.
Sure, you'll have one.
Yeah,
I'd
you
say-
probably have.
Probably have
Wouldn't
the roof.
my dad's car probably have one? Because I've got a 12-year-old brother. He would probably have a bicycle.
Yep.
So...
Okay, we'll see.
Or is it one of those cars where, you know, whatever they were, they advertised them, they had like a thing in behind the rear number plate where you push the buttons and out pops a bike rack?
Yeah, I know the ones. Okay. So we'll say one of the cars, your dad's car, has a bike rack on it. So, what's everybody's next move then? You've got cars, you've got some improvised weapons. What do you want to do next?
Right, so the next place where we want to go...
Is the Winchester.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned a helicopter.
Lizzie's sister
Yes.
just around the corner, I think, is the next thing you wanted to
Oh,
do.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but we
Lizzie's
did send
sister.
messages to other people.
There's somewhere I would like
Yeah.
to go closer, either my home or the life
Yeah.
center.
Okay.
We need to all check on families and then maybe start heading to the coast to get.
Right. Okay.
Um,
So you do have a few more people who are coming here. So what you might want to do is send some of you off to get Elizabeth's sister, and some
Yeah.
of you stay here for everybody else who's coming
Well-
here. And sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say what I'll do is I'll check all of these cars over to make sure they're 100% roadworthy.
Mhm.
There's not going to be any problems with them, and also probably load up the tools into the estate car.
Right.
So
Okay.
who can
Take
drive
all
and
the
wants
fuel you can carry.
who
Yeah,
can
you-
drive and wants to come to
Yeah.
Jasmine?
Okay.
I can
So
drive, but-
we will call that a night then, and next week
Okay.
we'll deal with the parties that are, because this is going to be your rallying point initially till you've got the people who are either coming here or live just around the corner, and then we'll radiate out from there to the life centre and people's homes to pick up bits and pieces. So thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the game. We'll
Yeah.
pick this up. We'll pick this up again next week. And again, well done. That's another 4 alien beasties. I think that's 5 in total that the party have killed now.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Party.
Well, okay, mostly Rab.
Yeah.
I would just
Last-
like to point out that the first person to get into hand with one of them things was me.
It was, yes.
Yeah.
It was. Right.
True.
Glasgow Rangers 5. Aliens nil.
Yeah, I killed one.
Yes.
Hey, Sean? No.
Or was it Celtic?
I
You
think
Celtic.
with the other foot.
Okay, so thank you very much for coming before a Glasgow religious conflict breaks out in the middle of the. Oh man, I didn't know you were a Catholic. Right.
Sectarian violence will occur.
So, okay, thank you very much for joining the game. Glad you enjoyed it. To everybody at home who's watching it, hope you enjoyed it. You've been watching Pandora's Age using the Age system by Green Ronin Games and the Pandora's Wake setting by Gethsemane Games and myself. If you are enjoying it, keep an eye on the obviously keep an eye out for our next installment, but also keep an eye out on the Age Creators Alliance. You might find something very shortly of interest. Also, if you would like to have a crack at designing some games, check out the Age Creators Alliance. There's some interesting stuff going on there too. Also, check out Green Ronin Publishing's website. They've got some excellent stuff on there at the moment. The modern age that we use to run this is on there. There's a couple of other support materials for modern age as well. I'll see you again next week, and we'll be putting this up on YouTube as well if you want to watch it again or catch bits you missed and so on. Thank you very much, and from us, good night.